I have to wear slippers at home.
Good morning. Good morning.
I go barefoot or even with socks on.
Wow.
So I have.
Good morning, everyone.
I have to wear that, and I also have the pillow and the MyPillow mattress topper and the.
That mattress topper is unbelievable, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Oh,
my
man.
wife loves it.
Oh, man. I know, they're all great. Yeah, I know. And by the way, when you use the promo code Kane at checkout, 40% off the MyPillow slippers, 30% off the MyPillow mattress topper, and you get 2 free MyPillows with it, so it's great. Well, that's awesome. Order your MyPillow, My Slippers 40% off with the promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com, or call 1-800-716-4879, 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane, K-A-N-E.
Seniors, Medicare open enrollment is quickly approaching. Make sure you get the right coverage. Call Debbie at I Will Advisors, 954-753-8080, 954-753-8080.
Here we go.
The
Showtime.
Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables.
Got something on the brim of my hat.
1-855-FLA-3782.
You are listening to South Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll-free, dial 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's 1-888-GO-KANE-1. And now...
Hey guys, welcome. Yes. That's right. Welcome to the program, everyone. It is Wednesday, October 13th, 2021. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. And man, do we have a lot to talk about today. This country, we're in crisis. We're in crisis. And I don't mean the supply chain. I don't mean this. I don't mean that. I mean, and there is a national crisis at every level. And if you look at what's going on in the country today, there is not one aspect of American life that is not being touched by the corruption and incompetence of Joe Biden. Here's the thing about Joe Biden. I'm going to go through some stories today, here early on, that involve polls. And the polls are devastating for Joe Biden. Let me pull one up now. This is, let's see here. Real Clear. Let me pull up Real Clear Politics. I was just reading a story in Real Clear Politics about Biden's approvals. Listen to this. Let me pull this up. This is Real Clear Politics, and this is, wow. I mean, this is, these are the worst poll numbers I've seen for a president. And a lot of people say, well, Jimmy Carter, my goodness, that was like almost half a century ago. Listen to this. This is Rasmussen. I'm going to go through the disapproval. These are not the approvals. These are the disapproval ratings of Biden right now. Rasmussen, 52.3% disapprove. 52.3% disapprove. Reuters, 47% disapprove of the job Biden is doing. Trafalgar poll, and this is a likely voter poll right here. Listen to this. Trafalgar, 56% of those likely voters disapprove of the job Joe Biden is doing. YouGov, this is registered voters, and registered voters leans left. Always a registered voter poll, always is liberal leaning. Listen to this. YouGov's poll of registered voters, Joe Biden's job approval, 49% disapprove of the job Joe Biden is doing. By the way, only 44% approve in that poll. Politico, Politico's very liberal. And this is a very left-leaning poll for a number of reasons. One, it's Politico, which is left-wing, and it's registered voters, not likely voters, so very left-leaning. Politico's poll, 52% disapprove of the job Joe Biden is doing. 52%. Quinnipiac, liberal-leaning poll because it's registered voters. Quinnipiac, 54% 3% disapproval rating. These are numbers we've not seen before. And, here is what is, I know those are crazy numbers. But here is the problem that we face in this country. We have 3 years left of Joe Biden's term here, okay? And I was doing a live stream on YouTube Live on the way in to the radio station this morning. If you guys don't follow me on YouTube, you should. Just search Brian Craig, The Brian Craig Show, of any variation of that on YouTube, and I'll come up. And I'm always uploading videos there and live streams and everything else at all kinds of times when you least expect it, and I got to get something off my chest. But this is the deal. These are the lowest approval and highest disapproval ratings that I have ever seen. And it's consistent, and it's a trend. And the trend is the vast majority of Americans disapprove. There's a few things to consider with this that make it even worse than it appears by those numbers. One, Joe Biden does not care about approval and disapproval numbers. Like, I give you one example right now. Yesterday, we talked a lot about the supply chain problem. Yesterday, Biden said, well, things aren't going to be here in time for Christmas. The shelves will be empty. You better run out there real quick and get what you can because the supply chain's not going to be fixed before Christmas. He's not even trying to fix the supply chain problem. He's just letting it work itself out. Doesn't care. And Joe Biden doesn't care about his disapproval ratings and his low approval ratings for a few reasons. One of them is he spent half a century in Congress. Little tiny state of Delaware running the whole country right now. Little tiny state of Delaware running America. Delaware and San Francisco running the country. Oh yeah, they really feel the pulse of the American people. Have any of you driven through Delaware and didn't know it? It's so small until you saw your leaving Delaware sign hit you on the side of the road. This is scary, people. This is scary. So Joe Biden doesn't care about approval ratings because in Congress always have very low approval numbers. Always have a low approval number. And even though he spent his entire life in the Senate with low approval numbers, tiny little Delaware sent him back there every 6 years. He could still be the senator from Delaware if he wanted to be. It's true. It's true. If he never would have become vice president, he'd still be there. Next to Dianne Feinstein in these committee meetings, although he'd be heading up every committee. And so that's one reason he doesn't care about approval ratings, because he's always had them, and he got elected and reelected every 6 years in the Senate, no matter how low the approval ratings were for Congress or him. The second thing is, and this is what's most frightening of all. Most presidents do care, I don't care who they are, do care about their approval and disapproval numbers, but not this guy. Most presidents, you can go back to any of them, and I'll use Bill Clinton and Obama because they're Democrats, but Bill Clinton and Obama have low approval numbers and high disapproval. They make a quick shift because other presidents at this point in their term, and this is a very true statement with Biden and these past Democrat presidents and even Republican presidents. I'm not including President Trump in any of this because he's separate and apart from all other presidents. But every other president other than Joe Biden at this point in their presidency are obsessed with one thing and one thing only: winning the midterm elections. And then after the midterm elections, every past president is obsessed with getting elected to a second term. And then in the second term, all they care about is their legacy. So that's when you start to see like big summit meetings and international events. Biden doesn't care about any of that. Biden cares about getting paid. He's very corrupt, and he's got his whole family hooked up in corrupt deals. And all he cares about are his family members making money for him. That's all he cares about. And because he doesn't have a care in the world, a lot of people say, well, he's checked out. Maybe. But he doesn't have a care in the world. Either does his wife. All they care about is making lots and lots of money. None of the analysis you see on the television shows is up-to-date analysis because they're analyzing him as if he's a normal president. And when you have a guy who doesn't care about approval numbers, when you have a president who doesn't care about disapproval numbers, when you have a president who doesn't care about the midterm elections, getting reelected, or a legacy to have a library centered around, you're dealing with a president who there is no checks and balances on what it is that they do, because nothing will stop them from what their agenda is. And his agenda is not what your agenda is. There's another poll today. Let me see if I can find this real quick. About blacks, a poll among blacks. Let me see if I can find this real quick. Hold on. I saw this right before I left the house this morning. And I saw this and I thought, oh man. Yeah, here we go. This is Town Hall. Biden's approval ratings continue to fall, including among a key constituency, black voters, which could spell trouble for Democrats ahead of the midterms. The founder of the Atlanta-based Black Male Voter Project, that's male as in man, M-A-L-E, the founder of the Atlanta Black Male, M-A-L-E, Voter Project, explained what's behind the immense frustration with Joe Biden. In an interview with the Washington Post, W. Mondale Robinson said it'd be difficult to convince black voters at this point in Biden's presidency that casting a ballot could bring change to their lives. Isn't that something? You know, and there's, it says, according to the Washington Post, other minority groups who helped Biden secure a win are also disenchanted after unfulfilled promises and dwindling hope for meaningful change. And after Congress's failure to pass the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act, minorities have been discouraged, according to the Washington Post. The White House insists that the black agenda is bigger than any of those two issues, but they didn't come through. So blacks and other minority groups that are strong Democrats, Biden doesn't care about that either. And another thing that makes Biden dangerous is not just because he doesn't care what the American people think, he doesn't care what poll numbers say, he doesn't care because he's got his other agenda, enriching himself and his family. Another thing is this, okay? Whoever the president is, you can pick any president. Half the country don't like him at all, and they don't like what they're doing. The other half are okay with it because that president is fulfilling their agenda. Okay, like you could have a Democrat who's pushing for gay rights and gun control, and those of us that are conservative, oh my goodness, the gun control, the Second Amendment's sacred, but the other half are okay. Biden is doing something no other president has done. And this is amazing. He's doing something that no other president has done. He's alienating both sides of the political voting public. He's doing things screwing over everyone. That's why his numbers are so low, and they're not going to rebound. There will not be they'll fluctuate a point here and there, but there will not be a trend upward. The trend is down in all of them. Joe Biden's not going to do anything to correct them because he doesn't care. He's got another agenda, and he's alienating both Democrats and Republicans in the country. I'm not talking about, and a lot of you may say, well, if he can't get legislation through and he loses control of the House, he won't be able to make that money for his family. That is not true. Presidents have incredible power, as we've seen with President Trump, and we've seen with these governors what executive authority can do. So, no, he doesn't need, I'm sure he would rather control Congress, but he doesn't need to control Congress to further his agenda, which is making money. Lots and lots of money. Serious money. And that's all he cares about. And when you have someone who doesn't care what even their own base of supporters think, whew, what's this country going to be like 3 years from now? The country will survive. The country's been through a lot of things. You can go through the list: the Depression, the Dust Bowl, the Civil War. We've been through it all. The country will be here, but will it be a country that we recognize? Will it be America in name only? So I'd very much like to hear your thoughts on this. Our number is toll-free from anywhere, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. It's a toll-free call. No matter where you are listening to us, no matter where you are watching us, if you're watching on YouTube, if you're listening online somewhere around the country or the world, or if you're locally listening to us here on one of our radio stations, that toll-free number works for you. 1-888-GO-CANE-1. That's K-A-N-E and the number 1. 888-465-2631. Is my analysis of Biden right on or completely off? Am I nuts? Let me know. 1-888-465-2631. Let's take our first break of the day. We'll come back. I'll touch on some more topics. We'll take your calls. Don't go anywhere. I'm Brian Craig. You are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. Stay tuned. Back with your calls after this.
Hi, this is Lori Kane, and I want to talk to you about Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental Care. I just love Dr. Gupta. I've been seeing him for around 3 years. He always has time for me.
Hey guys, good morning.
He never does unnecessary work, and his prices are very affordable. And if you need implants, go see him because he has the best prices around. Let me give you the number. Write it down. It's 954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633. 4633, BrightonDentalCare.com. He's just the best.
Hi, my name is Tom Laporta, the owner of Laporta Contracting, Roofing, and Restoration. We have been in the roofing and construction industry since 1982. We are state of Florida certified roofing and general
Steve Kane Show.
contractors focusing on residential and commercial
Yeah,
roofing.
Steve Kane Show, hold on. Well, guys, I see some people commenting. Call me on the air and tell me I'm spot on. Call me off the air and tell me I'm spot off. Either one.
Stains on your ceiling, or if your roof is older than 15 years, you will want to call us to come out and evaluate your roof. Our services run from minor repairs to complete new roof systems. We install every kind of roof, from regular asphalt shingles, clay or concrete tiles, standing metal seam, wood shakes, and slate tile systems. Call us at 954-604-4602 for a free home inspection and estimate. Again, that number is 954-604-4602.
Hi, Brian Craig here. I'm in studio with my wife, Kathy, and she's here to tell you about her experience with the MyPillow mattress topper.
Well, as you know, Brian, I was waking up in pain almost every morning for years and years, and we had bought a new mattress not that long ago, but it still was not doing the trick. So I said to you, let's get the MyPillow mattress topper, and let's see if it helps or makes any kind of a difference. And I have to tell you, after sleeping on it just one night, I woke up no pain. I felt incredible. It made a huge, huge difference for me. And the pain has not returned.
Wow, that's absolutely amazing. Now go to MyPillow.com and order your MyPillow mattress topper and do what Kathy and I did. Use the promo code KANE at checkout. K-A-N-E.
I didn't make my water goals the last 2 days, so.
Promo code KANE. You will save 30% off the MyPillow mattress topper and get 2 free MyPillow.
My wife took my blood pressure yesterday, and it's high. So then I went and got one of those public blood pressure tests. My blood pressure's high, just slightly, but high again. I got to try to cut out my espresso coffee in the morning. All right, guys, welcome back. 20 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show. And don't forget that great commercial with my wife, Kathy. We've got, for a limited time, you can actually get the MyPillow mattress topper for 50% off at MyPillow.com. If you click on the television specials using our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, and also order by phone, 800-716-4879, 800-716-4879, promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. Good morning, you're on the radio. Good morning. Yes, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Wesley, $5 super chat. Thank you.
Truck driver. Name is Ralph. I'm here in Memphis.
Hey.
I started watching your show real quick like 8 months ago. This is the first time I'm calling you. I think you're doing a fantastic job and covering a lot of bases.
Well, thank you.
Wanted to say that there at the top. I think we have to kind of look out of the box on this one.
Wesley says, good morning, Brian. The deep state is still majorly pissed about Afghanistan and will continue to take down Biden. Yeah, that's going to be my next point, Wesley. Say that again. Yeah.
Being done to get rid of.
Well, you may not have noticed, but Donald Trump is currently out of office and running for president.
I'm a huge Trump fan. I have not yet seen him
Thank Wesley, by the way.
say that he was running.
No, he said he said, well, if he says officially I am running, he has to handle himself in his rallies and fundraising under campaign finance laws. So he has not said those words, but at his rally Saturday night in Iowa, he announced the new campaign slogan. He said his new campaign slogan in the next election will be "Make America Great Again, Again." That's an announcement. Unofficially and stealthily, but it's an announcement.
Well, I agree with that. I agree with that, but that doesn't stop it.
Well, the Democrats aren't going to say, well, Trump's running, we're not going to do anything. No, but you know, listen, what Joe Biden is worse than any of us imagine, and he's doing something. Joe Biden is doing what I didn't even foresee him doing, and if anybody says they did, they're lying. What I'm seeing Joe Biden doing is even alienating Democrats. And he's alienating Democrats from coast to coast. No president has done so much to alienate their own base of support.
That I believe that they want to bring down because they have no chance next year.
Well, it looks to me, honestly, it looks as if they're trying to cause a complete financial collapse. You know, and the Cloward and Piven strategy. Glenn Beck used to talk about this a lot. Maybe he still does. I don't listen to his show. But the Cloward and Piven strategy, very leftist radical revolutionaries, was collapse the system. And once the system is collapsed, the people will be begging you to do whatever it needs to be done to save it. And that's when the socialists can come in. Like if you look at George W. Bush with the bank bailout in 2008, he says to save capitalism, we have to go. We have to do something that's not capitalistic, which was that huge bank bailout. So I agree with you that I agree with what you're saying. See, this is the thing, and I say this a lot, and the reason I say it a lot is because no one else says it, and it's very important. President Trump, when he won in 2016, was the first president in history that was truly elected by the people and not someone that was forced upon the people by a party, right? The parties have their nominating conventions and they always push a candidate to us, right? And Donald Trump, the Republicans were thinking about doing a broker convention and taking the nomination away from him in 2016. So Donald Trump is the first president to truly be elected by the people, not someone we voted for just because the party nominated them. And all of them, on both sides of the aisle, this goes for Pelosi and McConnell, what they're doing is punishing us for going against what the establishment's wishes were. If Ted Cruz or Jeb would have won the nomination, and even the presidency and beat Hillary, we wouldn't be pushed like we're being pushed now.
I agree with that totally. Absolutely, totally agree. I really think they want to bring down this country to do it the way they want to do it.
That's right.
No one next year.
Well, listen. I got to run, but thanks for the call. And this is something else. Somebody in the chat mentioned this. I was going to get into this later, but I'm going to do it now, so I don't forget. So Biden is doing things that no other president has done, right? Alienating their own base because he doesn't care. Another thing Biden did, and this is probably the biggest thing that Biden did that is his undoing, and that's Afghanistan. Biden pulled out of Afghanistan against the wishes of the deep state, the intelligence agencies, and the military. And they did not want him to do that. Biden did it mainly. See, this is something we taught. Afghanistan was like 5 or 6 major catastrophes ago, and it's been forgotten. We still have hundreds, maybe thousands of Americans being held hostage by the Taliban in Afghanistan. Afghanistan's not solved, it's worse. But what we found during the pullout of Afghanistan is that Afghanistan has the largest lithium deposits in the world. I did not know this until then. Did you? Maybe you did. I didn't know it. And during the war, at some point, the United States did a geological survey of Afghanistan. Before 9/11, their major business was heroin. Now it's lithium. And lithium is a component that is needed for the electric vehicles and even the hybrid vehicles. That's what the batteries are made from. And he gave, against the deep state and everything, he pulled out of Afghanistan against the deep state because he wanted to give those lithium deposits, he sold the lithium deposits to China. And the deep state, the intelligence community, they have a 20-year operation that they had in Afghanistan with an entire network. And that entire network's gone. And I can only imagine the connections it has to terrorism connections around the world. He blew an entire global intelligence operation that was 20 years in the making by pulling out of Afghanistan, Joe Biden. And he also has the blacks against him. He has Democrat constituents against him, Biden. But he also has the deep state against him at this point. So the poll numbers will never change. They're going to continue to get low. We may very well see, sooner rather than later, we may see single-digit approval ratings of Joe Biden become the new normal. I would not be surprised to start seeing 8 and 9% approval ratings of Joe Biden consistently for years at the rate things are falling. Certainly in the teens, and he still won't change anything up that he's doing. I want to take our break for the bottom of the hour. My name's Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, on the radio since 1977. Our number, toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. Our last caller, first-time caller, been watching us on YouTube for a while. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And if you've never called before, I know it's a little nervous calling radio shows. I know it can be nervous, get a little stage fright. That's okay. That's normal. That's normal. But if you've never called before, I'd like to hear from you too. 1-888-GO-KANE-1. 888-465-2631.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires.
Steve Kane Show.
Tire in Margate.
Hey.
They have all the major brands like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beaten. Steve Kane's tires for his Toyota van at the other shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. That's a $100 savings per tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car.
Hey guys, welcome everyone.
At the shops around town. The price at Friendly
Make sure you
Tire
like the
is
video and you're
$65
subscribed. If you're new here, welcome.
savings per tire. These prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection of good used tires too, starting at just $30 for most cars. Call my good buddy Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire. Tell him what you drive and he will give you a great low price right over the phone at 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net.
Steve Kane Show.
Hi, Brian
Hey,
Craig
man.
here. We've been telling you on the Steve Kane Show, for coronavirus testing, stop by any lab test now of Coral Springs and any lab test now of Boca. One of our longtime sponsors, Dr. Mitch Matez of the Boca Raton Center for Age Management, went to any lab test now of Boca for coronavirus testing this weekend, and he called in live on the radio to share his experience.
Listen, Brian, I have a great experience to tell you about. I went to any lab test now on Saturday to get COVID-19 tested. And it was awesome. We had a little experience where we had somebody in our close circle that tested positive after 10 days, by the way. Went and had a test. It took 10 days to get the results. We all went into a little bit of a panic, obviously. So we called up any lab test now. It was about maybe 11:30 in the morning on Saturday. They said, come on right on over. I was anonymous. I didn't announce myself. We went over there. We got there about noon. We checked in. 2 minutes later, they took us back, did our test. We sat in the waiting room for less than 15 minutes. They brought us back, gave us our results, which were negative, and we were on our way home. And a little shout out to Brittany, the nice young lady who did our test. It was completely painless. It was quick, it was simple, it was easy, and it gave you both the IgM and the IgG antibodies, which tells you if you have the infection now or if you've been exposed to it in the past.
Now, you went to any lab test now of Boca?
Boca Raton, yeah, in the Sandalfoot Plaza.
Awesome.
It was awesome. It really was. It was cool. And it's easy, it's simple, and I'm telling you, that's the way to go. Forget this 10-day nonsense.
Doctor recommended. Can I say that in the commercial now? Doctor recommended. Any lab test now of Boca
There you
Raton.
go. Doctor recommended. recommended. Yeah, it was really kind of cool, and it was wonderful, and it was easy. And listen, to that end, go over and get tested. This is the test you want to get. It tells you point blank, did you have it, do you have it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
That's great. So Dr. Mitch Matez personally recommending any lab test now of Boca. You heard Dr. Mitch Matez. Any lab test now of Boca is doctor recommended for coronavirus testing. They're located in the Sandalfoot Plaza. That's where the Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsboro on the east side of 441. Give them a call, 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009. Any lab test now of Coral Springs is located on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood over by the Coral Square Mall. Their number, 954-906-5983. Any lab test now of Boca and any lab test now of Coral Springs. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned?
All right, we're coming back, guys.
Assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll free 1-855-FLA. 3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWN.
All right, we are back 34 minutes after the hour, actually 33. I just looked. It's about to click over. Now, any lab test now of Boca and Coral Springs also open on Saturdays, and they have same-day PCR testing. I've been tested many times. Members of my family go over there and get tested regularly. And listen, there's lots of any lab test nows. But those are the only 2 advertising on the Steve Kane Show, so don't go to any others. They also have thousands of other lab tests. Whatever lab test you need, they have it there, guaranteed lowest price. Any lab test now of Boca, any lab test now of Coral Springs. All right, let's go to Richie the bus driver. Hey, Richie.
Yeah, good morning. Now, I'm calling you after something that happened yesterday, and I know there's one call a day, call attack anybody. But Greg, too, I'm going to have to live my life because these people have these crazy ideas. We've given them way too much power up there. I'm sorry to say this. And now we're stuck. We're really stuck. And they're taking...
This is a bad... We are in a bad time. And the only thing we can hope for, and winning the midterms will be some satisfaction if that happens, but it's not going to solve it because Biden doesn't care. He's going to continue to do things to screw us at every turn. I mean, look what he did in Afghanistan without any congressional approval. He just did it. So we're in a rough 3 years. It's going to be it's going to get a lot worse.
And I'm very delicate about attacking an individual like Greg, too. I don't want to attack him personally, okay? And I know he's an attorney. But you better get real, Greg. They're taking your freedoms away one by one. If you want to buy a Prius or an electric car, that's your choice. That's your choice. You're an American. Why should you be dictated to and they take
I have a hard time understanding why a man like that is so... I know he'll deny that he's a Democrat, but I really wonder how can a grown man be like a liberal? It's especially someone who's in business and everything. I don't get it.
You want to take care of your family. If you open a small business, you open a small business, and now because of the government, they're telling people they have to take shots. Now I have my shot. That's none of their damn business. None of their business at all. And they're sticking their nose in everything. They've completely wrecked this country in 9 months. How can this happen? And then I watch this lying redhead get on TV every day with her news conferences, and the news gives us softball questions. They don't attack her at all. They don't ask her any hardball questions.
Just Ducey, and Ducey's not even going there. I mean this thing with there's this news story about Biden paying for Hunter's drugs and hookers because they were commingling their money in the same account, and that's how he was getting his money, Pops. That's how Joe was getting his money, was through commingling these accounts. And while it'll be a mention for a day as if it's some type of scandalous story, tomorrow it'll be forgotten and it won't be covered again.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this is a tragedy. And Greg, you ought to be able to say to yourself, I'm a lawyer, and it doesn't matter whether you're a lawyer or not. I don't give a damn about your education or anything like that. I'm proud that you went through law school.
Oh yeah.
Greg,
Proud? I don't know. All right, Richie, take care. Thanks for the call. I appreciate it. And he had to get some things off his chest. Mike in Louisiana, good morning.
Hello. You know, we were talking about his approval, Biden's approval numbers and how he doesn't care, but his not caring and his being corrupt, but his not caring is hurting the Democrats. Think about it. For them to get their agenda done, he has to have political capital, right? Well, right now he has no political capital. Zero.
Well, but the question is, what I've been arguing this morning is he doesn't care. He can use the power of the presidency to accomplish a lot of what it is he's doing. Now he is desperate to pass this $3.5 trillion thing because the donors and these Democrats are making a lot of money that way. But if he cared about political capital and poll numbers, he would shift on something. Like look at what happened this week. His low poll numbers and other problems. He's angry. He goes on this just vile, angry rant against the American people. You even hear Psaki do it, blaming people for not adhering to the mandates. Is why things are so bad. Nothing they're doing. They're angry at the American people, and you sense it every day.
Well, yeah, and here's something else to think about. If he had political capital, and he was able to get these things done, we wouldn't be hearing about Kirsten Sinema and Joe Manchin. They would be towing the line,
Yeah, I haven't heard about either of them in a few days. That makes me worried.
That makes me worried too, and that's the thing. I mean, a lot of the stuff they talk about, I don't agree with, but at least they was kind of standing up to their own party at the time, at that point, and that's the thing now. I mean, look, we know that he doesn't care, but him not caring about his poll numbers and his lack of political capital is hurting the Democrats.
Well, it doesn't just hurt; it makes him dangerous. There's no checks and balances. Because he doesn't care about any of the things a normal president cares about, there's nothing to rein him in.
Right. He does not. I mean, and all he cares about is himself and his family remaining corrupted.
Correct.
Money.
That's right. I know. I know it's not a positive thought, and we've got 3 more years of this. We need to keep us going, but to keep our hope up, we need more Trump rallies. We need a Trump rally every weekend to keep our hopes alive. President Trump in his rally, did you watch the rally in Iowa over the weekend?
Yes.
The one thing Trump said that I was just totally blown away by that I did not know. Now, maybe you guys know everything. I don't know everything. But I did not know this. More people died of COVID this year than last year in America. And I was shocked when President Trump said that. And then I've looked, and that's amazing. How did that happen? You wouldn't know it by watching television, would you?
No, you wouldn't know it. And the thing, I mean, look, we talk about how the swamp in Washington is corrupt. I mean, we know about Pelosi and her corruption, but what Biden does is 100 times worse than what some of the stuff.
No doubt.
Yeah, she's corrupt, but he brings it to a whole new level.
Hey, listen, Mike, I got to run, but thanks for the call. Mike in Louisiana, always a great call, always great content and information to contribute. All right, listen, we're going to take our last break of the first hour. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, on the radio since 1977. Of course, we are here live weekday mornings from 6 until 9 a.m. We'll be right back after this.
Brian Craig here. Advertising on The Steve Kane Show works. This is Scott, one of our sponsors from Cut My Kilowatts, talking about his experience advertising on The Steve Kane Radio Show. Hey, Scott, how are you?
I am doing great, and Brian, I gotta tell you, I am...
Good morning, everyone.
...stations, and you guys are doing better than any of the other two.
That's amazing.
New clients, it's amazing. It's been amazing. We did a lady from your show yesterday, and she wants to come in here tomorrow morning with us and tell everybody about it. Yeah, so we did her home yesterday, and then a gentleman, Darcy, just called in today and booked an appointment for next Friday. So it's been going wonderful. You've just gone above and beyond my wildest expectations. So much for all the great help with getting me this.
Well, that's what we like to hear. You hear that, guys? He's advertising on 3 radio stations, and we're doing better for him than the other ones. That's right. That's the Steve Kane Show right here. That makes me feel good. Oh, man. Increase your company's business. Advertise on Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. Call me directly or Steve Kane, 888-465-2631. Leave a message, and I'll get back to you. 888-465-2631. And we'll be hearing about you and your business on The Steve Kane Show. Hi, Brian Craig here. I'm in studio with my wife, Kathy, and she's here to tell you about her experience with the MyPillow mattress topper.
Well, as you know, Brian, I was waking up in pain almost every morning for years and years, and we had bought a new mattress not that long ago, but it still was not doing the trick. So I said to you, let's get the MyPillow mattress topper, and let's see if it helps or makes any kind of a difference. And I have to tell you, after sleeping on it just one night, I woke up no pain. I felt incredible. It made a huge difference for me. And the pain has not returned.
Wow, that's absolutely amazing. Now go to MyPillow.com and order your MyPillow mattress topper and do what Kathy and I did. Use the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. And this is an incredible deal because with the promo code KANE, you will save 30% off the MyPillow mattress topper and get 2 free MyPillows. But you've got to use the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. It comes in every size too, from twin all the way up to California King. That's promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWN.
Oh, man. And again, you go to the television specials, you can get the MyPillow mattress topper for 50% off with the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. I'm going to play some audio here. I want to play Janet Yellen. Janet Yellen. You know, and she gave an interview and she's talking about this reporting the $600 transactions from the bank, which have a lot of people panicked. You know, how often do you go to the bank and take money out? I do this all the time. I'll go to the bank and I'll take out money and for something, and I either won't spend it or won't spend as much as I thought I was going to spend. I always like to have extra, so I have enough cash if I need it, and I redeposit what's left over. That's a transaction. Sometimes you'll withdraw money and not use it and put it back in. That's a transaction. And this idea is so crazy stupid. I've been talking about this the last week, but one of the causes of the Great Depression was the run on banks. The run on banks. When the stock market crashed, people in this country went into a panic, went to their banks and started withdrawing all their money, emptying out their bank accounts. And the banks had to close. And they closed because they didn't have enough money, because they take that money and do all kinds of things with it. They loan it out to people. And it was one of the biggest causes of the bank failures. Money was gone. And back then, banks, there were no computers in 1929, so banking wasn't done digitally. And they had a higher percentage of cash per customer than they have today. I don't know if everybody in your neighborhood went to the local bank and emptied out their bank accounts, how long would it take them to run out of cash? Pretty quick, wouldn't it? And people are talking about another run on banks happening, that people will, if they pass this, and Nancy Pelosi was pretty firm about passing it yesterday, and then you'll hear this Yellen interview explain it, and they're already talking about taking their money out of the banks because people are afraid of a run on banks and not being able to get to the money, and there being a crisis. Oh yeah, things are insured. Good luck with that. How would that work if all the banks closed? Someone came up with this idea that this was another way to pay for all their crap to the donors in this $3.5 trillion bill, and they're running with it. So let me play this. This is Janet Yellen our Secretary of Treasury. Oh my goodness, Mnuchin must be physically ill listening to this woman. This is Janet Yellen in an interview yesterday talking about this. Listen.
You want banks to report transactions of $600 or more. That's what the IRS wants. Does this mean that the government is trying to peek into our pocketbooks? If you want to look at $600 transactions?
Absolutely not. I think this proposal has been seriously mischaracterized. The proposal involves no reporting of individual transactions of any individual. Look, the big picture is that we have a tax gap that over the next decade is estimated at $7 trillion, namely a shortfall in the amount that IRS is collecting.
Okay, so this is amazing. So these tax and spend liberals, they can't get enough money in tax revenues now. They got this $3.5 trillion bill. They have all these other liberal expenditures, and the problem is it's not that they're spending too much money. They're not sucking enough of it out of the American people, so they're pushing this forward. How about stop spending money, Janet Yellen?
Due to a failure of individuals to report the income that they've earned.
But that's among billionaires. Is that among people who are transferring $600?
No, it tends to be among high-income individuals.
Oh, this is the target high-income individuals? That's why she's focusing on $600 transactions?
Whose income is opaque and the IRS doesn't receive information about it. If you earn a paycheck, you get a W-2, the IRS knows about it. But high-income individuals with opaque sources of income that are not reported to the IRS, there's a lot of tax fraud and cheating that's going on, and all that's involved in this proposal is a few aggregate numbers about bank accounts, the amount that was received in the course of a year, the amount that went out in the course of the year. If somebody reports an income of $10,000 and they had $3 million go out of their checking account, that tells the IRS that's an individual you might audit.
I mean, the White House says that American billionaires pay an average income tax rate of 8.2%.
Yes, it's extremely low.
That's lower than teachers, than cops, than a lot of people.
It's unfair.
Oh, it's unfair. You know, so a billionaire or a millionaire pays 8% in taxes and somebody else pays more. They focus too much on the percentage, not the actual dollar amount. They pay more money. If they're paying 8.9% in taxes that year, they're paying more money than most of us will earn in our entire lives. You know, so they use this. Don't believe any. Look what they've done with the Patriot Act. America's attacked. We need the Patriot Act. We got to do this. We got to do this. And now they're using it against U.S. citizens. It was just supposed to be for foreign terrorists. Now they're using it against U.S. citizens on a regular basis. If they were targeting millionaires and billionaires, it wouldn't be for $600 transactions. And my concern of this is the financial collapse that it would cause by the run on the banks, the people withdrawing their money from banks. That's frightening. Frightening. And it's to pay for all their crap. She said it. All right, let's take some more calls. 888-465-2631. Frightening. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Good morning, Brian. How are you today?
All right, Andrea. What's up?
Well, let's talk about Janet Yellen. And the amazing thing is, Janet Yellen just right there stated that they just think the American people are so stupid and so gullible that they would believe anything that the government said. If you are not targeting individual American citizens, then why are you instituting it?
Mm-hmm. That's such a low number. It's not 6,000 or 600,000. It's $600.
Right, and everybody's going to be subject to this. Secondly of all, if you're so concerned about these people who are filtering the system and evading taxes, why don't you look in the White House? Because there's Joe Biden and his son sharing a bank account, I'm sure.
Yeah, but he's dedicated his life to public service, so he pays in another way. You know, and I don't think you have to be an economist to understand people will stop using banks, and banks need that money. That's how they give out mortgage loans and business loans and everything, and people will stop using banks. You know, the 2008 financial crisis, the housing crisis, that was created by the Democrats. Remember, it was people have forgotten, but it was called the subprime mortgage crisis. The Democrats, they passed laws requiring banks to give out loans to people who have no job, no proof of income, and no credit, or bad credit. And people were buying $400,000 and $500,000 houses that showed no proof of income and no down payments either. By the way, but most of us come up with 20% to buy a house, and they walked away from the houses. The housing crisis of 2008 was anytime the government gets involved in these things, it causes financial catastrophe. And Pelosi was asked about this yesterday, and she was adamant about it.
Well, of course she was. Of course she was. So, in my opinion, this is going to be one of three things. So, either they're going to find a way to tax every transaction into and out of your bank account. That'll be maybe one possibility. The second possibility is going to be, Joe Biden already said it, that they're going to be looking at people's investments, meaning your IRAs, your Roth. So they're going to tax any transaction.
Well, this is what's happened, and let me use another example to illustrate what's happening. Okay, you've heard me talk sometimes. I watch on YouTube a lot of these RV vloggers on YouTube. And there's this one couple I watch. They're very nice people. They travel America in their RV with their young daughter, and they're called the RV Odd Couple or something. They're called. I can't remember the exact name of their channel. You guys can look them up. And they decided to stop traveling, and they bought an RV park, which was condemned and had been closed for 12 years. It's a money pit, and they made a stupid decision. But when they first got there, they know what it costs to rent an RV lot and how many lots they have, and I was watching them, and they were talking about how much money they were going to make every month based on having the lots filled in their RV park every night of the year, and they're thinking hundreds of thousands of dollars, and now they find out it's condemned and all kinds of problems. This is what's going on here. Somebody in Biden's circle came up with this idea of how much money they could make tax-wise through this transaction monitoring to pay for all their crap to their donors that they're trying to pass. And they just, their hands they're greedy. And they're just like, this is the way. We're going to save the whole socialist agenda by doing this. And what they're going to do is collapse the American banking system. And when the subprime mortgage crisis happened and we had that bank bailout, we were about to enter another Great Depression because banks were going to collapse from those loans, from those foreclosures. When people take all their money out of the bank, it's going to be worse than that. They're going to cause a Great Depression. And I find it hard to believe that people like Janet Yellen don't see that.
Think about it like this, though, Brian. Let's say that they go forward with this and they give the IRS access to everybody's bank account. How many times in this year has the federal government been hacked?
Yeah.
Time. So, the other kind of looming thing here could be, to institute, just like in China, the social credit score, where they claim everybody got hacked, and now, we have to institute the social credit score. So in order for you to get your money back, you can't go on Brian Craig and speak freely. Like, it's a lever of control.
Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of it, okay, yeah, you're right. That's another aspect of it. I believe a lot of it has to do with what I was talking about earlier, getting control of the American people who elected Donald Trump in 2016. We elected someone that the establishment didn't want, and they're trying to get control over us in many, many ways so that doesn't happen again. There's no doubt about it. But I know that the banks, because this is Wall Street, the banks have all kinds of influence through their donors to the Congress. So I'd like to think that they're not going to be able to pass it through because the bank lobbyists, the Wall Street lobbyists, are putting so much pressure on them. But I don't know.
Well, I have to tell you, I went to the bank this week and I wanted to take out some money, probably a decent amount. And the questioning that I went through about this money, till finally I was like, hey, lady, listen, this is my money. This is my money. You don't need to worry about.
No, they'll do that. And if you've ever closed an account at a bank, they panic. They don't let you leave. They don't let you leave. It becomes a very high-pressured sales situation. And what will happen, that's going to start to happen. And when it does, when it gets to the point where they don't try to talk you out of it anymore, then you'll know the economy is about to collapse. We're going to be back in the mattress stuffing business of money because people are going to be afraid, because we know that when the banks, your accounts are insured, I believe, I could be wrong about the number, and this may be an old number they've increased, but I think your accounts are insured up to $250,000. You know, but they never expect that. That's not if everyone's bank account collapses and has to be paid off. That's a different thing. You understand? You know, so that's crazy.
That FDIC insurance is based on the government printing more money.
Well, people say, well, I don't have $250,000 in the bank, but if that number is based on one bank collapse. If all the banks start to collapse, are they going to pay everybody $250,000 up to that in the country? I don't think so. No.
And that's why, you have to. My grandmother always said this to me. She said, "Expect the best, but prepare for the worst." She always said that to me.
Mm-hmm.
My grandparents were immigrants. My grandfather came to this country when he was 14 years old. 14 years old, put himself on a boat from Italy and came across legally. He came here legally and walked from Ellis Island to New Jersey at 14 years old with $10 in his pocket.
Yeah.
They knew how hard that you have to work. And to be honest with you, Brian, everything seems pretty hopeless right now.
We're getting to that point. Absolutely. Listen, Andrea, I got to run for a break because I'm already late, but thanks for the call. 2 minutes after the hour. We'll break, come back with hour number 2 after this. Do not go anywhere.
Covered AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
It's here, the hot weather. It's in the mid-90s in the middle of
Steve
the day.
Kane Show.
And that's what the actual temperature is.
Hey.
The heat index, much higher than that. That means your air conditioner is going to work harder and harder, driving up your electric bill. And on the line, we have Scott from Cut My Kilowatts, who's going to save you big, big money on your electric bill. Tell them how you're going to do it, Scott.
Hey, Brian. Well, we do it with the radiant barrier installation and making sure that none of your air conditioning ducts are leaking into your attic. But I have Rebecca on the line with me, who's a longtime Steve Kane listener, and we had the pleasure of going up and doing a whole attic package for her at her house on Wednesday of this week. And we put all new ducts in for radiant barrier and all new insulation. And she just wants to tell you how her experience was.
Good morning. I wanted to let you know that this morning, first of all, the people that came out, his crew, were very, very polite, and they did the work. It's a very difficult job to go up in an attic, pull out all the old ducts, come in and put in all new ducts, extra additional ducts to make my system work better. I'm in the construction industry. I'm an architect, so I'm familiar with what the cost should be and how much time it takes to do everything. And let me tell you, I was very impressed, and my attic looks like a spaceship up there with all new ducts. They took out the metal duct that was insulated and leaking on my ceiling, and they put in flex duct, which is what we use now in the industry. But let me tell you, what I paid for the entire package should have cost just to remove the old ductwork and install new ductwork, and I got everything for less than what I thought.
Well, that's amazing. And When Scott from Cut My Kilowatts brings that radiant barrier into your attic, it pays for itself because what it does, it cools off your ceiling, cools off your attic, keeps that hot Florida heat that's well over 100 degrees in your attic off of your air conditioning ducts, which means your air conditioner works less to keep your house cool and comfortable for you, which means you have lower electrical bills. It works. Listen, guys, give Scott at Cut My Kilowatts a call. His number's listed at SteveKaneShow.com, as is his website if you miss it. His number, which rings directly to him, 954-939-1500. 954-939-1500. That's Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. Hi, Brian Craig here. I'm in studio with my wife, Kathy, and she's here to tell you about her experience with the MyPillow mattress topper.
Well, as you know, Brian, I was waking up in pain almost every morning for years and years, and we had bought a new mattress not that long ago, but it still was not doing the trick. So I said to you, let's get the MyPillow mattress topper, and let's see if it helps or makes any kind of a difference. And I have to tell you, after sleeping on it just one night, I woke up, no pain, I felt incredible. It made a huge difference for me. And the pain has not returned.
Wow, that's absolutely amazing. Now go to MyPillow.com and order your MyPillow mattress topper and do what Kathy and I did. Use the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. And this is an incredible deal because with the promo code KANE, you will save 30% off the MyPillow mattress topper and get 2 free MyPillows. But you've got to use the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. It comes in every size too, from twin all the way up to California King. That's promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com.
Seniors, Medicare open enrollment is quickly approaching. Make sure you get the right coverage. Call Debbie at I Will Advisors, 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080. The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
You are listening to South Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll-free, dial 1-888-COCAINE-1. That's 1-888-COCAINE-1. And now, here's Steve Kane.
All right, hour number 2 has begun. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. Welcome back, one and all. And you know, Medicare recipients, Medicare open enrollment begins Friday. And Debbie from I Will Advisors and her team, no matter where you are in Florida, can help you with your Medicare needs. 954-753-8080. All right, now this is just scary story. You may have seen it, the Loudoun County School Board arrest. A Virginia father who went viral after being dragged out of a Loudoun County School Board meeting and arrested for protesting his proposed transgender policies has now revealed he was trying to tell the room that his daughter had been raped by a boy at school in the girls' bathroom. Scott Smith, who was photographed on June 22nd being dragged out of the heated meeting with his torso exposed in Leesburg, Virginia. The 48-year-old plumber was ridiculed on social media. If you're on hold, stand by. I'll get to the calls in just a bit. Afterwards, and was painted by the left to be a deranged right-wing bigot. I said white, that too. But in an interview with the Daily Wire that was published on Monday, he explained that he was trying to stick up for his daughter, who was attacked at Stonebridge High School on May 28th by a boy wearing a skirt. He says the boy took advantage of the school's trans policies to get into the girls' bathrooms and assault her. 2 months after the incident, the boy, who has not been named because he is a juvenile, was arrested for forced sodomy. In October, he was arrested again on different charges for allegedly assaulting a different girl at a different school. He's now in a juvenile detention center. But Smith says Loudoun County schools went out of their way to protect the child. And the school has not even commented on it. It has been hard to keep my mouth shut and wait this out. It's been the most powerless thing I've been through. So the father got arrested. They covered up the fake transgendered kid. He didn't get arrested till a stink was done, and he had to assault someone else first. Now, Virginia, okay, here's what you got to understand about Virginia, because it seems to me about 98% of the school board things we're seeing on television are out of Virginia. Virginia is where all the Washington bureaucrats live. People that work their entire lives in D.C. mostly live in Virginia. And what you're seeing is this radical liberalism that's in the United States government bureaucracy in Virginia driving these school boards. And there's a big connection between the Washington bureaucracy and Virginia because of this. And that's why this is happening. And what happened with this kid is what the dad said. You know, there were boys saying, well, I identify as a girl today, so I'm going to use the girls' locker room or the bathroom. And these are the things that are happening. And the way that this school covered it up, just like they covered up Nick Cruz before the shooting at Parkland, the school district covers these things up because no matter who gets hurt, there's a greater good here in their mind. And the greater good is this very strange gender thing that they've come up with these days. Very weird thing going on here. And I want to say this too about have some of the audio of one of the fathers being arrested. Let me play some of this. I don't know how well it'll translate on the radio. I have some. Let me play some of this. This is the audio from the Loudoun School Board meeting. Okay, so there, you know, it's just chaos. Okay, now what I want to say about this is the violence. Now I watch these videos in the school board meetings, and it seems to me that the violence isn't so much caused by the outraged parents. Now, what I'm going to say to you is rather controversial from a conservative point of view to share at 1-888-GO-CANE-1. So the school board meeting, the violence isn't so much because of the parents. The parents are angry and pissed, no doubt about it, and they're messing with their kids. The violence happens when the police jump the parents. This father had about 4 to 5 police officers jump him, the one whose daughter was raped. He's bloody. Did you see him? He's bloodied. His shirt is torn in the school board meeting. Have you seen the videos? The police are the ones that are escalating these. People get pissed, and the police jump them. And it escalates. And these are people that have never broken a law in their life, and now all of a sudden they got convictions on them now. Got arrest records and things on them now. And the part I want to hear your thought on is this. As conservatives who support the police, are the police really our friend? Or are the police in these school board incidents the problem? It seems to me when I watch, and I know you guys have seen a lot of these school board meetings. Now, I don't just watch the clips that they put on television. I'll watch them online, and you get an extended thing. And what usually happens is you have a parent who's pissed, and they're screaming and yelling, no doubt about it. They're using profanities, no doubt about it. And then they go over their time, and then all of a sudden they get tackled by the cops. Are the police really our friends, or are they more of the problem in these situations than we realize? I want to hear your thoughts on this from a conservative perspective. Now, I'm not saying all cops are bad, but there sure the hell are a lot of them that are. We saw what they did during the lockdowns last year. Remember? In New York, somebody called. They were on the Orthodox Jews. They were having an event. The police came and drug Jews out of the front door of the house because there were too many in the house. Remember that? Oh, my goodness. You know, I know a lot of police, and they're good people, but what I'm seeing on television over this last year and a half is not good. And how many people work for the government that are good people, that respect people, respect the public? Not very many. Most people that work for the government are very entitled and angry at people. Go renew your driver's license. Go renew your license tag. Whenever I have to go and deal with my auto tag, I go to a private place, not the government one. It costs a couple dollars more, but it's worth it because they treat you like a customer, not as a burden. Go deal with your post office. Oh man. So people that work for the government hate the public generally. They're entitled. They enjoy the power they have over you, whether it's making you wait for hours just because they can to get your license plate taken care of, or tackle you in a school board meeting because you went over your 2 minutes. So I want to hear your thoughts on this. Do we really have to reevaluate our blanket support for the police and start calling out these bad apples that we're seeing in these school board meetings? Because I'm here to tell you, I've not seen a parent attack anyone. I'm seeing cops. I've seen them scream and yell and use profanities and say terrible things, but I haven't seen a parent start violence. I see them get tackled by multiple cops, and they knock him down over seats. And this new guy whose daughter was raped, he's all bloodied. His face is bloodied and swollen. His bloody lip, his shirt is ripped. You've seen the video. I want to hear your thoughts on what I'm saying here. Am I off base? 1-888-GO-CANE 1. 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Good morning.
Brian, it's Greg.
Yeah, Greg.
Hey, you just, listen, I can't debate anymore with you that I'm a conservative Republican and I support...
Oh my gosh, it's all about you. Can you talk about the issues on the table?
Brian, you just brought up a great issue. First of all, let me thank Richie for his service. I don't recall him ever mentioning that before, so thank you to that. Listen, Brian, that man's daughter was raped, a 9th grader, in a bathroom where a fellow student followed her in, and then he also sexually assaulted another female.
I know, we got through this, but what get to this thing, though, about the police.
You know what? I think about your thoughts. I've been thinking that for months. I'm no longer the biggest supporter of the police. I think they're a part of the problem, not the solution anymore. I think the way did you see the size of those guys? 4 guys on top of him, cuffing him, tearing his shirt apart. He's bloody because his daughter...
I saw a kid get arrested at a high school, arrested by police because he wasn't wearing a mask. They cuffed him. They arrested him.
Well, what's happened to the police force? That's my question. Have they turned into part of the big government problem we're facing? Because and I know you were against this, but if they didn't do those shootings all over the last year, we wouldn't have the problems we have now. I'm convinced of that. The riots wouldn't have occurred. There wouldn't have been a basis of it. They shoot people when it's unauthorized.
Yeah. Yeah. So what are we doing? Is MAGA joining up with BLM here? But, these school board meetings, have any of you seen an outraged parent begin a physical confrontation? And then what happens is when the cops tackle them, they tackle them over the seats where there's people at it, and it gets more and more chaotic.
The school board members are on top of their little podiums up there, like they're better than the parents. The parents are there, the ones that show up, and I've never been to a school board meeting, so I feel kind of guilty. Those are parents that care about their children. They're not there to create problems. They're trying to express the issues that their children are experiencing, right? They're not trying to cause disturbances. They're just trying to get...
Okay, so have the police always been like this? Is this a new thing? To me, the school board issue is not you've got this corrupt attorney general who's declaring that parents are domestic terrorists at these meetings, that they're threatening school board members, using profanities and saying things. When you're messing with someone's child, people get mama bear thing going on, and I get that, but the violence is coming from the cops. The violence is coming from the police officers.
Yesterday on YouTube, I watched yesterday. I was in shock. That poor gentleman, what he's gone through, and how they treated him. But one last comment I'd like to make to you on the topic, Brian, you discussed. The one thing, Joe Biden may not care about his re-election or his legacy, But guess what? Democrats are coming up. We're only like close to a year out of re-election time, and they're going to get slaughtered at the polls.
Yeah, I hope so. All right, Greg, take care. I got to run for a break. Thanks for the call. 20 minutes after the hour. My name's Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, on the radio since 1977. Our number, toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. I want to hear what you think on this police issue at the school board meetings. I'm serious about it. I really, truly want to hear. Because for me to criticize the police is not an easy thing to do. But I think they're the cause of the problem at these meetings. We'll be right back.
AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Brian Craig here. When it comes to auto repair, you want a garage that you can trust. Someone that will only do work on your car when your car needs work. Introducing Champagne Automotive in Boca Raton, the latest sponsor of the Steve Kane Radio Show. Tom called in on the radio to tell us about his experience with Champagne Automotive.
Hi, this is Tom from Tamarack.
Hey, Tom from Tamarack, what's up?
I just want to tell you guys something. I spent the last 2 days trying to get brakes for my car. I was leaving the house yesterday to go try another place that had a lower price. They wanted $800 for the brakes. And that advertisement came on for Champagne. I live in Western Tamarack. I said, let me take a drive up there. Well, I was almost blown over how friendly, honest, old school these people are.
Old school, that's really the term that really describes it.
But let me tell you, the guy I had gone to previously won $800. He said, well, you need to change your power steering fluid. And Ed, the owner, put the car up on the lift, pulled the wheels, says, you don't need brakes. And I about fell over.
Wow. Well, tell me the end of the story. You got me hooked.
So it wasn't that your vehicle was misdiagnosed at the other place. You were dealing with a crook.
Oh, absolutely. This guy wanted to sell me everything but a washing machine. I don't want that.
Now, this is our new sponsor. We have wanted for a long time to have an auto repair shop. When it comes to auto repair, that is the most difficult category for us to find as an advertiser, because most are like this guy you were dealing with the other day over in Tamarack. They're crooks. And we found Champagne Automotive. Ed, who's the owner, is a listener of the program. They come very, very highly recommended. So I appreciate you calling in and telling us the good story. Now, Champagne Automotive, they're in Boca off Spanish River Boulevard, immediately west of Dixie Highway. The number is Steve Kane Show. 561-245-8101. 561-245-8101.
Seniors, Medicare open enrollment is quickly approaching. Make sure you get the right coverage. Call Debbie at I Will Advisors, 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WW.
All right, we are back. 23 minutes after the hour, it's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. My name is Brian Craig. Let's go back to our phones. 1-888-GO-KANE-1. Wisconsin, Gary. Good morning.
Good morning, Brian. How are we?
Good. How you doing?
Good. You know, you brought up the topic about, you know, with the schools and all this other stuff. And here's the problem. If you've got the problem now where parents are getting arrested and they're controlled, the school board is controlled by Democrats. This is the problem that you gotta, if you don't like the school board, you vote them out. I mean, I've got kids in school. You've mentioned previous times, you shouldn't run for a school board if you have kids in your school. And I believe that's the way it should always be. If you don't have kids, you should not be able to be elected as a school board member. Because then this way, the parents that actually have kids, that take care of their kids, raise their kids, go through everything their kids go through, especially like with what's happening through, you know, with the kid that had all these things on him. This should have never really happened.
Mm-hmm.
But the liberals pushing all this crap onto everything, you know, this is where it's leading to. They think it's okay that if a Democrat can get away with everything, a kid that's having problems at school should be able to get away with everything too. That's why these elections, believe it or not, for your future, whether if it's government, municipality, or whatever else there is, you need to get involved.
Well, this is the deal. This is the deal, you know, with the cops at the school board. See, this is how the Holocaust happened. The Holocaust happened because public officials in power, just doing their job and following orders, did it. And right now, we are in the biggest cultural shift in this country in any of our lifetimes with a big there is a communist takeover going on of America today, and every aspect of our lives. And a lot of it has to do with the help of the police. Remember when they were last year during shutdowns, people would try to open up because they have to have money to pay their bills, and the police and the code enforcement officers and food inspectors would shut them down with all their glory. I mean, that, you know, and I see this guy whose daughter was raped in the bathroom, beaten up by the police because he's trying to tell people that his daughter got raped with this policy, and they arrest him and beat him up. And I know some black liberals will say, well, all of a sudden you care because white folks. It's not about skin color, you know. It's about an out of control police force we have in this country.
And the police, you know, arresting parents, you know, for something because the Democrat school board, you know, gets scared because of what? People are going to speak out. That's the whole point.
See, school boards are corrupt people. There's a lot of money in computers, land buys to build schools, books, paper, white, you know, even the ink for the computer printers. And most school boards are filled with people that are as corrupt as Joe Biden is. Okay, they all have insider deals with the company they buy the garbage bags from at the school district. It's a big scam. I've seen it happen my entire life here in our community, and that's the way it is. You know, and that's why they're on there. Well, yeah.
Never be that way.
And this critical race theory that these school boards are pushing, you know, some of them are stupid liberals, but a lot of them are pushing it because there's payoffs to be made from the companies that provide the textbooks and lesson plans and everything for it. There's a lot of that too.
And I'm glad that our school system that where my boys go to, they don't push that.
Yeah, for now, not now.
Yeah, at least not for now, but I mean, it's like every single day, like I've mentioned previously, I ask my boys, what did you learn today? And especially when it comes to like critical race theory, I ask trigger questions, you know, to see if anything that they said, then I know it's being taught. But as of right now, in the school system my boys are at, I'm thankful that it is, and the school they're not as bad as what all these schools are around the country with masks and everything else. The only place my boys have got to wear a mask is on the school bus.
Yeah. Hey, Gary, take care. Thanks for the call. All right, take care. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Oh, hey, Doug.
I'd like to first mention something. I'd like to mention about what you were talking about, but earlier you were talking about the IRS. You know, I talked to an accountant, a friend of mine. I asked him, what does he think about this? You know, what is it, 60,000 more agents they want to hire and look at everybody's 600. He tells me that, number one, a lot of people he knows, his clients, are buying safe. So I think he might be thinking about pulling them up. He says, everybody who gets audited, 99% have to pay. So this is a money scheme for them to audit people.
It's a way, they found a way to pay for all their liberal crap. Yeah, well, what are your thoughts on what I was talking about with the police at the school boards?
Yeah. Oh, okay, the school board now. There's always been a few cops that think they belong to the Gestapo. You know, and now give them a little more empowerment, and those people really go crazy. What is the reason to jump on somebody who's talking a little bit too long?
That's what happens. I mean, you have a time. The time's usually 2 minutes. It can vary, I'm sure, but they go over their time and they're screaming and they're using profanities because they're messing with their kids. And you know, I saw Candace Owens this week said, "Well, take your kids out of public school." Well, hey, listen, most parents aren't married to a guy that owns a social networking site, you know, Parlor, and don't have some big deal with Ben Shapiro making tons of money and can't afford it, Candace Owens. It's very easy for, just put your kids in private school. It's just like that easy. Yeah, I mean, my goodness. She's moved on up and got out of touch.
Meanwhile, you have cops in other places that allow you to rob, burn down things. It's okay. You just look. The cops don't do it.
All right, hey Doug, take care. Thanks for the call. Good morning. You're on the radio. Good morning. Yes. All right. How are you?
Good. This is Dan from Coral Springs. I just
friend and everything else. And I'm not saying that Breonna Taylor and her boyfriend were squeaky clean Marines, but what I'm telling you is why did the police have to bust in to the apartment with a no-knock warrant in a shootout situation? Why didn't they just wait for Breonna to go to work and grab her out in the parking lot in front of the apartment building? You know, and police are turning to violent measures and escalating things in a lot of these incidents when they really don't need to or shouldn't be, like at the school boards.
Right. And I think as far as with the school boards, I believe they don't even have the resource officers, because normally in the schools, you have the resource officers, or more often than not, they're retired policemen.
No, these aren't retired. These are guys like in TAC gear. You know, I'll tell you another thing, too, about police officers. The uniform has changed. They walk around in TAC gear all the time, like they're on a SWAT team. They dress like they're on SWAT, right? You know what I'm talking about? They got the big vest on. They got different guns. They got the stun gun. They got this and that. They're all playing make-believe SWAT, and there's a problem with that. You know, they're overarmed. They got too much gear on. They look like soldiers, and that also escalates things. As opposed to coming off like a normal, well-respected police officer with a nice uniform with just a gun and a holster. That's all they need. They don't need all this military TAC gear that they're wearing like they're all on the SWAT team. That's you know, I'm sorry. And maybe I'm wrong. If there's some officers out there who would like to call in and tell me I'm wrong, I want to be wrong about this. But I'm telling you, these cops are the ones that are causing the violence at these school board meetings in Virginia, not the parents.
Right, but I think that as a society, we got to show our appreciation to the police department, because without the police, we're going to have chaos out there and anarchy, and we have to fully support our police.
Well, I support the police, but these school board meetings, are the parents, are they the ones that start the violence? I haven't seen it. It's the cops.
Yeah, it's an overreaction from the police at the school board meetings and so forth, and we just got to bring it down a notch. Give the parents to say as their children that they're being affected, and they have every right to go ahead and speak their piece.
Yeah. All right. Hey, listen, I got to run for a break, but thanks for the call. All right, we'll be right back.
Here, the hot weather, it's in the mid-90s in the middle of the day, and that's what the actual temperature is. The heat index, much higher than that. That means your air conditioner is going to work harder and harder, driving up your electric bill. And on the line, we have Scott from Cut My Kilowatts, who's going to save you big, big money on your electric bill. Tell them how you're going to do it, Scott.
Hey, Brian. Well, we do it with the radiant barrier installation and making sure that none of your
Steve Kane Show.
are leaking into your attic.
They did.
We had the pleasure of going up and doing a whole attic package for her at her house on Wednesday of this week, and we put all new ducts in for radiant barrier and all new insulation, and she just wants to tell you how her experience was.
Good morning. I wanted to let you know that this morning, first of all, the people that came out, his crew were very, very polite, and they did the work at a very difficult job to go up in an attic, pull out all the old ducts, come in and put in all new ducts. It's extra additional ducts to make my system work better. I'm in the construction industry. I'm an architect, so I'm familiar with what the cost could be and how much time it takes to do everything. And let me tell you, I was very impressed, and my attic looks like a spaceship up there with all new ducts. They took out the metal duct that was insulated and leaking on my ceiling, and they put in flex stuff, which is what we use now in the industry. But let me tell you, what I paid for the entire package should have cost just to remove the old ductwork and install new ductwork, and I got everything for less than what I thought it was.
Well, that's amazing. And when Scott from Cut My Kilowatts brings that radiant barrier into your attic, it pays for itself, because what it does, it cools off your ceiling, cools off your attic, keeps that hot Florida heat that's well over 100 degrees in your attic off of your air conditioning ducts, which means your air conditioning...
You saw action in Iraq? What side were you on? Because you're not in the United States. Just curious. Not making an accusation, just asking.
Electrical bills, it works. Listen, guys, give Scott at Cut My
First listen at SteveKaneShow.com, as is his website if you miss it. His number, which rings directly to him, 954-939-1500. 954-939-1500. That's Scott from Cut My Kilowatts.
Do you think you've come in contact with someone who has coronavirus? Steve Kane's wife Lori did, and she went to any lab test now at Coral Springs to find out if she has coronavirus.
So I came into contact with somebody who tested positive for COVID, and I was scared, and I needed results right away, so I went to any lab test now in Coral Springs. It was great. I didn't want to have to stay in line for 2 hours and have a swab stuck down my nose into my brain. It was very pleasant. I made an appointment. They got me in within the hour. I was out of there within 20 minutes. Thank goodness the test was negative, and I can go back to work tomorrow. They also tested me for the antibodies, and I haven't been exposed. So do what I did. Go over to any lab test now at Coral Springs. They give great rates for Steve Kane listeners, and tell them we sent you.
It's worth 15 minutes of your time to have peace of mind and know that you and your family are safe. Any lab test now of Coral Springs is located at 955 North University Drive on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood near the Coral Square Mall. You can call them at 954-906-5983. 954-906-5983. Any lab test now of Boca is in the Sandalfoot Plaza where the Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsborough. Call them at 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio.
Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Affordable premium. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
Search for WWNN.
All right, guys, we're back 38 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Let's go to Rabbi David. Rabbi, what's up?
You know, it rings so clear when you talk about the cops and the government agencies, these are the things we're talking about. I was actually at the motor vehicle last week. What a horrendous experience. You know, there's a guy who looks like he's ready to, join a SWAT team at the front door. People are lined up around the building. And he's going out there screaming at them to stand the exact amount apart. He's got guns and vests on. And that's just to get to the first part. And then when you get inside, he's lining you up again. And I kept thinking to myself, man, if this was a private company, if there was a competitive private company running this place, they wouldn't have the nerve to have me wait 2 hours to get service. This is the way the government works, and supported by cops. And if we're looking at the government to run anything, health care.
Yeah, it's always wrong. These school board. I mean, am I off base? The school board meeting violence is started by the cops, right?
Oh, I think there's an aggression there. Yeah. There was no cop there. How would it get out of control? People would be yelling, and you have people yell.
Yeah.
That's
and cussing. Yeah. So that's it. And I got to tell you, like, I remember when it was before 9/11. This changed after 9/11, where all the cops dress up in these SWAT uniforms. And they started, the federal government started pouring money through the Patriot Act in the local police departments, and you get this militarized look of police as opposed to the old look, with the polyester uniforms, and they wore polyester because they always looked pressed, and just the holster with one gun. I mean, how many weapons do they need?
For God forbid gets in a car accident, a big one or a little one, anyone, you wait there for an hour. Finally, the cop shows up. And what does the cop do? He doesn't know what happened. He has no idea what happened, and he starts handing out tickets to everybody. Okay? These people have been devastated, and this happened to my son, and it happened to me a number of years ago in Orlando. But you're devastated. You crawl out of the car is squished, you have death, and then they look at, and they just start giving you a ticket, and you need a little comfort, like, oh, it'll be okay, and they're handing out tickets for, this and that because of the accident. It's real.
I was at the I was at the airport the other night before last, picking up my daughter, and there's police officers who spend their whole career writing tickets and telling people that this is a loading zone and you can't stop. And I'm thinking, what a miserable living that is. And they you know, the woman's practically got the tickets written out before she even gets to the car. You know, she's got like them pre-written. She just has to write in the plate number, I guess, you know?
Yeah, I hate to say it, you know, look, we support cops in general, we love cops in general, but if you ever personally have to come in contact with one, you know, you have a different story.
Well, you know, my wife and I went to an HOA meeting a couple years ago, and they had police officers there at the HOA meeting. And I'd never been to one of our HOA meetings. We lived in the same place for over 15 years, never been to one, and I couldn't believe, and they you know, the homeowners association, they hate the homeowners in every HOA. You know how that goes. And they make an announcement. The president of the HOA makes an announcement that anyone who goes over their time will be removed by the police and subject to arrest. And the police officer, one of them, was standing next to my wife, and my wife was with me. We were sitting down. My wife is in her electric wheelchair with oxygen on, and we thought he was kind of joking. And my wife said, wow, that's pretty heavy-handed. And the cop looked at my wife while she was wearing oxygen and says, it's true, I'll arrest you. I'm like, what the freak is wrong with you? You know, what's wrong with you? You know, do you have no penis? What is wrong with this man? And that's how these school board meetings are going. And I'm not against the cops. I support the police. I know a lot of cops, and they're all good guys. I don't know any police ladies right now, sorry. But, you know... But what I see at these school board meetings and what I saw last year during the lockdowns are out-of-control police officers who they enjoy the violence, they enjoy the confrontation, and they enjoy the power. Did you see the picture of the guy whose daughter was raped after the cops got him? He's bloodied and beaten up at the school board meeting.
Right. You know, you aren't far off, and I know we're not supposed to mention the Holocaust or Nazis because...
No, we can mention it.
Yeah, but trust me, that's where it begins. The front lines of the police, the military, the martial law. This is where it begins, where regular citizens have to come in contact with this
call me on the air, Marshal.
group, and it's happening, and it really is wrong.
You know, during the Holocaust, like when Hitler took over, you know, there were people who left, who resigned from the military. I can't remember the guy's name now, but the chief of staff of the entire German army resigned from the army when Hitler took over because he wouldn't pledge allegiance to Hitler, and there were other officials who did, not many, but some of them did. You know, what I see at these school board meetings is appalling. And then look what's happened. There's a coordination because and now this is just my observation. If you guys disagree with me, we take calls from people that disagree too. You know, if I'm wrong, but you see the cops, in my opinion, causing the violence at the school boards, and then you have the Attorney General saying the federal government's classifying these parents as domestic terrorists.
Right. It's a problem because when it comes to school boards, and you mentioned HOA, the same animal. It doesn't matter what you say even at these meetings. When you leave, they vote and do whatever they want.
Yes.
That's why it's so aggravating to the people that come there to yell, because all they got is yelling, and voting them out. But it's very.
I know one of my neighbors told me I should run for the HOA. I said, "Are you kidding me? I'll be done. They'll foreclose on my house. They'll find some violation. The grass is a millimeter too high, and then all of a sudden I got a foreclosure for my grass being too high." HOAs.
Yeah, I have an HOA, and I'm not even talking about it on the phone.
I'm scared talking about the HOA right now. I live in fear. I'll never go to another. All right, Rabbi, take care. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Hey, good morning, Brian. You know it's me.
Who's me? I don't know. Oh, okay. Al from Coral Springs. How you doing?
I know you're not going to let me ramble like you let Auntie Andrea ramble, so I'm going to disagree with you. So I'm
Well, that's fine. But okay, before you get started, the problem with your calls is you're a girly man. You call in, you say some things, and hang up. The other callers, we have conversations. If you have a conversation, the call will last longer than if you just want to rant and hang up like a girl. But go ahead, let's try.
Well, that's not true. I have to just say something and hang up because you can't handle it when
I can handle anything you got.
Handle this. As usual, you're on the wrong side at the wrong time. When it comes to the police, now that you're, MAGA, white privileged people are getting arrested, you want to cry and complain. But listen to your false equivalency that you put up against this. You try to have sympathy with the Breonna Taylor incident, and then you slyly indicate that, oh, she's not squeaky clean. Well, let me tell you, Breonna Taylor was an EMT student with no criminal record. Why don't you bring up things like the finance?
Well, I didn't. Slow down. I didn't. Excuse me. No, this is called a conversation. Listen, what I said, I don't know what Breonna Taylor's situation was, okay? I don't know what she was involved in or not, but I do know this. Excuse me. What I do know is this, is that the police could have snatched her out when she was going to work out in the parking lot. They didn't have to bust into the house in a shootout situation. Okay? But see, your problem is, excuse me, now, Al, I'm going to finish. The problem you have, Al, is you are so racist, you hate white people so much, that even when we're agreeing, you can't agree because you just hate white people. And it's really a sad thing.
Not me. You're the one criticizing the white cops, not me. I don't have a problem.
No, some of these cops were, the lead officer at the school board, the lead cop at the school board with the father of the rape victim was black. Some of the cops were white, some of them were black. This is not race. Everything with you is race because you hate white people.
That's what your problem is. The head, the chief or the supervisor was black, but the officers that arrested him were white. So now there's a problem with the cops. Racist.
Okay. I'm the racist. Then why am I in an interracial family? Why is my family interracial if I'm a racist?
Stop trying to...
No, you call me a racist. What kind of racist adopts a black child? Could you tell me what kind of racist adopts a black child? I want the audience to hear.
Stop trying to justify your racist behavior.
Excuse me. Explain to me what kind of racist adopts a black child.
Let's get back to the topic.
No, this is the topic. Stupid. Listen. No, excuse me. I will continue the conversation with or without you. But here's the thing. Every call-in's in a hang-up. If my wife's on the line, one of us hang up at some point. You called me a racist, and I want you to explain how someone who's a racist would adopt a black child and being my only child, which means every one of my family line from now and forever will be black, will be biracial. What kind of racist would do that?
Brian, we went for this conversation.
No, you're asking other questions. Because the answer is a racist wouldn't do something like that. I'm not talking about Lincoln. Thanks for your call. Let's take our last break of the hour. We'll be back after this.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate, where they have all the major brands like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beaten. Steve Kane's tires for his Toyota van at the other shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. That's a $100 savings per tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the shops around town. The price at Friendly Tire, only $65. That's a $70 savings per tire. These prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection of good used tires too, starting at just $30 for most cars. Call my good buddy Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire. Tell him what you drive and he will give you a great low price right over the phone at 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net.
Hi, my name is Tom Laporta, the owner of Laporta Contracting, Roofing, and Restoration. We have been in the roofing and construction industry since 1982. We are state of Florida certified roofing and general contractors focusing on residential and commercial roofing, impact windows, and building restoration. The 2021 hurricane season is upon us. If you have noticed any water stains on your ceiling, or if your roof is older than 15 years, you will want to call us to come out and evaluate your roof. Our services run from minor repairs to complete new roof systems. We install every kind of roof, from regular asphalt shingles, clay or concrete tiles, standing metal seam, wood shakes, and slate tile systems. Call us at 954-604-4602 for a free home inspection and estimate. Again, that number is 954-604-4602.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for W.
Yeah, you know, talking about the school board meetings and the HOAs, that's why we often talk about Tom Laporta and the skill set he has on dealing with the HOAs, because if you're in Florida, you know how the condo and HOA systems operate. They're difficult and impossible to deal with. Tom Laporta can deal with your HOA for you. He did it with Steve, and he did it like a pro. I mean, he could have a whole business just working with homeowners associations and condo associations. He could have like a practice like that. But, you know, I noticed when I came in today, it was raining pretty hard. We're still in hurricane rainy season here in South Florida. And Tom Laporta, he does every type of roof, commercial, single-family home, churches, businesses, whatever it is. And also, Tom Laporta, he did Steve's roof, rebuilt Steve's house that was falling apart from neglect. But Tom Laporta, no matter where you are in the state of Florida, Tom Laporta can help you. So no matter where you are, from the Panhandle to Key West, give Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting a call. Here's his number. It rings directly to his cell phone. He's a good MAGA guy, 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. No matter where you are in the state of Florida, Tom Laporta can help. And ask him about the Trump roof. He has the tiles from Mar-a-Lago. He can turn your roof into a Trump roof, which is an amazing thing. 954-604-4602. That's Tom Laporta. Okay, at Laporta Contracting. Kamala Harris talked yesterday to a group of Indians, Native Americans, and she was talking about bringing together our nations. All American Indians are U.S. citizens, okay? But anyway, she was talking about America. Now, it's hard for me to say this, but she's the Vice President of the United States, and we've got a Commander-in-Chief with severe cognitive decline who at any point could be forced to resign from office because of that. And she is next in line. And I want to play this. This was yesterday. She's talking to an Indian group, Native American organization, about the United States. Let me play this for you. Kamala Harris, Vice President of the United States, talking about the United States.
Every October, the United States has recognized the voyage of the European explorers who first landed on the shores of the Americas. But that is not the whole story. That has never been the whole story. Those explorers ushered in a wave of devastation for tribal nations, perpetrating violence, stealing land, and spreading disease. We must not shy away from this shameful past, and we must shed light on it and do everything we can to address the impact of the past on Native communities today. Today we know.
Okay, now she goes on. Let me a little bit more.
Women and girls are missing and murdered at alarming rates.
Okay, yeah, on reservations by Indians, by the way. Okay, now this is. She hates the country. She said America was founded on a Holocaust. How can you be vice president of a country that you believe was founded based on a Holocaust? And let me tell you this. Man, I wish I was a Seminole Indian. How many of you, if you live in Florida, in particular in South Florida, don't you all wish you were a Seminole Indian? Oh, man. The Seminole Indian tribe of Florida, who are not indigenous to Florida, by the way, they have casinos, and they have the Hard Rock Casino Hotel in Hollywood on the reservation. Every member of that tribe gets paid thousands of dollars every month just for being a Seminole. I don't know what they're getting these days, but it's a lot of money, thousands a month, for doing nothing. And if they live on the reservation, they don't even have to pay taxes. But most of them don't. They move off the reservation because they got so much money coming in every month. They want to move into a bigger, nicer neighborhood than the reservation. So let me tell you, and the Miccosukee Indian, similar thing. And there are other Indian tribes. I'm sorry that the tribe she's speaking to don't have casinos. Maybe they should get one. They used to just sell cigarettes and things like that. Now they got the casinos. I wish that I was a Seminole Indian. And by the way, this Native American thing, anytime I drive by the huge office building that the Seminoles have down the street from the big Hard Rock guitar-shaped hotel, the sign on it, doesn't it say Seminole Indian Tribe of Florida? It doesn't say Seminole Native American. It says Seminole Indian Tribe, right? They call themselves Indians, Kamala. Oh my gosh. How can you be the vice president of a country that you think has a debt that has never been repaid about this Holocaust that she hallucinates? We are responsible for it. All right, our number is toll-free 1-888-GO-CANE, 1-888-465-2631. You know, this Hate America crowd, I remember when I was younger and I would hear conservatives talk about the Hate America crowd, I thought it was just partisan crap, you know, but as I got older, I see that it's true. Now, I am not a fan of the Rolling Stones. Rolling Stones, I think, before my time, but I've never been a big fan of the Rolling Stones. Are you guys fans? I know a lot of you probably are. I never have been. I think it's generational. I'm not a big fan of the Beatles either, to tell you the truth, you know. But anyway, the Rolling Stones have been forced to cancel the song Brown Sugar over slavery lyrics. Keith Richards says the 50-year-old song is about horrors of the slave trade, and he's tired of fighting with people trying to bury it, and the band will no longer play Brown Sugar. Now, off the top of my head, and as I say, I'm not a fan of the Rolling Stones, but when it comes to their song that I can think of, Brown Sugar comes to the top of the list. I'm not going to sing it because I can't sing, and I would embarrass myself if I started singing it. But Brown Sugar, is that one of their top 5 hits? Brown Sugar? It's got to be. It's got to be in the top, at least the 10. And I thought it was I pulled up the lyrics. I'm not going to sing it, but I'm going to read the lyrics. These are the lyrics from Brown Sugar by the Rolling Stones, read by me. Okay, I'm not going to sing it. Although it'll be hard to go through these lyrics and not sing it because I'm hearing the song in my head. Are any of you hearing the Brown Sugar? You hearing that in your head? Okay, and I never really paid much attention to the lyrics of it either. But here are the lyrics to the Rolling Stones' Brown Sugar. Gold Coast slave ship bound for cotton fields, sold at a market down in New Orleans. Slave owner knows he's doing all right. Hear him whip the women just around midnight. Brown sugar, how come you taste so good? Brown sugar just like a young girl should. Drums beating, cold English blood runs hot. Lady of the house wondering where it's going to stop. Houseboy knows that he's doing all right. You should have heard him just around midnight. What? Does that mean that... What does that mean? Lady of the house wondering where it's going to stop. Houseboy knows that he's doing all right. You should have heard him just around midnight. Is the lady of the house with the houseboy in that? Brown sugar, how come you taste so good now? Brown sugar, just like a young girl should now. Get along, brown sugar, how come you taste so good, baby? Got me feeling now, brown sugar, just like a black girl should. I bet your mama was a tent show queen, and all her boyfriends were sweet 16. I'm no schoolboy, but I know what I like. You should have heard me just around midnight. Brown sugar, how come you taste so good, baby? Brown sugar, just like a young girl should. Oh, my goodness, yeah. Yeah. I didn't realize it was so much about slavery. I really did not. I said, yeah, woo. How come you taste so good? Yeah, woo. Just like a black girl should. Yeah, woo. You know, I got to tell you, I have heard Brown Sugar, I don't know how many times, and I never paid attention to the lyrics. I did not realize it's about sex with slaves, but it's got a good melody to it. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I don't. Did all of you know the lyrics to Brown Sugar? Well, they're not going to play it anymore. Sorry, guys. All right. It's 8:01. I'm Brian. 2 hours down, 1 to go. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. My name's Brian Craig. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. We'll be back with your calls and more topics right after this break.
Covered AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
It's here, the hot weather. It's in the mid-90s in the middle of the day, and that's what the actual temperature is. The heat index, much higher than that. That means your air conditioner is going to work
Steve Kane
harder
Show.
and harder, driving up your electric bill. And on the line, we have
Steve Kane Show.
Kilowatts, who's going to save you
Hello.
money on your electric bill. Tell them how you're going to do it, Scott.
Hey, Brian. Well, we do it with the radiant barrier installation and making sure that none of your air conditioning ducts are leaking into your attic. But I have Rebecca on the line with me, who's a longtime Steve Kane listener, and we had the pleasure of going up and doing a whole attic package for her at her house on Wednesday of this week.
Yeah, Brown Sugar is... Give me a break. Give me a break. Bruce Springsteen, I'm not a fan of Bruce Springsteen. He always sounds like he's constipated. Steve Kane Show. Okay. I'll put you on, but when you get on the air, you got to speak up. Hold on. Oh my gosh, rehearse? Are you kidding me? This is how I am all the time. Talk to my wife, she'll tell you. And rehearse? Are you kidding me? Who has time to rehearse? I got to be on the air at 6 a.m.
You know, what we use now in the industry. But let me tell
My
you,
problem is,
what I paid for the entire
unlike everybody else on YouTube and on the radio, I'm too much of myself.
Old ductwork and install new ductwork, and I got everything for less
Yeah,
than
Born in the USA is a lefty song.
And when Scott from Cut My Kilowatts brings that radiant barrier into your attic, it pays for itself because what it does, it cools off your ceiling, cools off your attic, keeps that hot Florida heat that's well over 100 degrees in your attic off of your air conditioning ducts, which means your air conditioner works less to keep your house cool and comfortable for you, which means you have lower electrical bills. It works. Listen, guys, give Scott at Cut My Kilowatts a call. His number's listed at SteveKaneShow.com, as is his website if you miss it. His number, which rings directly to him, 954-939-1500. 954-939-1500. That's Scott from Cut My Kilowatts.
Steve Kane radio listeners love.
I was always a big Eddie Wilson fan myself. Anyone know that? Get that? Eddie Wilson. Who was Eddie Wilson with? What band? Anybody know?
I have dealt with in my entire life. We took a car over there that was not being used yet. You know, it belonged to my 90-year-old dad. Everybody I had taken it to before was charging an astronomical amount of money. But when we took it over there, Eddie took a look at it, and I gotta say that this man fixed the car. It's running like a charm. Anybody that needs a mechanic, I strongly recommend.
That's right. Cruisers, baby. Eddie and the Cruisers. No, Eddie Wilson. Eddie and the Cruisers.
Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca will never do a repair on your car.
They should have made Eddie and the Cruisers is an awesome movie. I love Eddie and the Cruisers. Not Eddie and the Cruisers 2, Eddie Lives. That's awful. But Eddie and the Cruisers is an awesome movie. They should have made that about Elvis, though.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets?
On the dark side. That's right.
Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll free 1-855-FLA-3782.
Cruisers, baby.
You are listening to South Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll free, dial 1-888-GO-GAIN-1. That's 1-888-GO-GAIN-1. And now.
Yes. All right, we are back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. Back to our phones. Good morning. Good morning.
Morning, Brian. This is Jacqueline Wilson. Very avid fan of your show.
Well, thank you.
I can't believe I'm calling in. But anyway, I with you about the police. It's gotten way out of hand. I don't even recognize this country anymore.
Well, this school board thing, I've been thinking about this for a while with the school boards. I don't think I brought it up before. If I did, I've forgotten. But when I saw the father of the girl who was raped, bloodied, his shirt torn, tackled by 4 or 5 officers, I have not seen an incident where at the school boards where the parents started the fight. It's always the cops attacking them. And what are they attacking them for? Because they said, let's go Brandon to the school board, They used the F word with the school board. Is that really worth tackling? These honorable corrupt people on the school board? It's okay to cuss them out. And because they went over their 2 minutes and they talked for 2 minutes and 35 seconds and dropped some F-bombs, they're going to tackle them and take a guy whose daughter was raped in the school and they covered it up and never been arrested in his life. Now he's got an arrest record. Come on.
It's awful. My husband was a sergeant 45 years, and when he was a policeman, Lord, I'm getting nervous. When he was a policeman, he had in his squad because he was a heavy alcoholic and drinking.
Oh my gosh, he arrested a cop that he worked with? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he was in his squad, and he was.
Wow, he's like a local Serpico.
Yeah, he said it was really hard to have to do the job the way you're supposed to.
Yeah.
Feel like doing your job anyway.
Yeah. Hey, well, welcome to the show. Are you a new listener, or is it just your first time calling?
First time calling. I've been watching you basically since January.
Oh, well, welcome. It's on YouTube.
Really, and I had very good taste in the right shows to watch.
Well, this is the one. This is the MAGA show of record. You won't find, I say this with pride. I have never disagreed with President Trump, nor will I ever disagree with President Trump. And and a lot of people, I always said this. I said this from the time he came down the escalator, and it's not, it's not because I have disagreed with him and kept it quiet. I love this man, and some people say, I hear this a lot, well, if you don't criticize him ever, you'll have no credibility. And a lot of these guys like Michael Savage, who's not on the radio anymore, he's doing a podcast now, Savage, but he's very pro-Trump, and then like on Tuesday he's got to go rip Trump for a whole show so he has credibility. President Trump, again, he hasn't done anything I would disagree with, but he's got enough people criticizing him, and you will never hear me criticize President Trump, ever. And I say that with pride.
Me, we have a lot in common in that area because I wouldn't either. I've never seen a man take so much, I call it cruelty, that Trump has been through. It's amazing how the country was in good shape. We're back worse than what we were.
He handed Biden a perfect country. A perfect country, and there's not an aspect of American life that Biden hasn't wrecked, if you think about it. I mean, think about it.
A lot, and you're spot on there. Yes, I want to see him out, and I believe it.
Mm-hmm. Hey, listen, appreciate the call. Thank you for the call. Okay, all right. 1-888-GO-CANE-1. 888-465-2631. Tucker Carlson a couple nights ago did it was a long monologue, his first segment, talking about what Biden's doing so far as basically rounding up unvaccinated people, and he called it a purge. And I'll just read a little bit. This is in Trending Politics. Tucker Carlson gives monologue for the ages on Biden's divisive purge of unvaccinated Americans from society. Tucker Carlson on Monday night is when this happened. The Fox News primetime host's timely message is a political touchstone for much of what is wrong with Biden's America. Tucker broke down the Biden White House's purge of the unvaccinated from society as an unprecedented vendetta in American history. He went on to say it's not a noble agenda driven by a concern over public health, but rather an illogical and reckless drive for political power. And he had a speech that Biden gave that he played a clip from. Okay, this is what Tucker Carlson is 100% correct. This purge, and this is what's going on here. Okay, with Biden and this purge of the unvaccinated, the political establishment of the country, they want MAGA gone. Okay, they want MAGA gone. They want to lose the next two elections because they figure those will be Trump losses or viewed as Trump losses. They'll make sure that it is if that were to happen. They want him to go away. They want the great Trump family to go away, and they want the MAGA movement to disappear. And what the Biden regime has wrongly assessed the situation that unvaccinated people are MAGA. That is not the case. I know a lot of MAGA people that are vaccinated. Okay, most of the people in this country that are unvaccinated are African Americans. And that's a fact. That's a fact. If you have friends who are African American, in particular Democrat, find out, what are they? Are they vaccinated? Probably not. And the reason blacks are not vaccinated in high numbers is because of the Tuskegee experiment brainwashing that's been going on for a century almost. So they're afraid because of that. But Biden thinks that every single person that's unvaccinated is MAGA, so he's trying to purge MAGA from the military. There are tens of thousands of service personnel that haven't gotten their first dose yet. They're trying to purge MAGA from society. It's not the unvaccinated. They think the unvaccinated are Trump supporters, and they're trying to purge Trump supporters from society. That's what they're doing. And they're making a mistake because he passed a mandate in the federal government. He ordered a mandate in the federal government. The majority of the people in the federal government unvaccinated are black. And when the dust settles and people are purged because of their vaccination status, the black population of the country is around 12 to 13%. They're going to find over 20% of those are black. Now, this thing going on with Southwest Airlines, I've been watching a lot of videos from Southwest employees online. They've been on TikTok and stuff talking about it. And a lot of them are not vaccinated, but I think a lot of them are. And they just don't want to be told what to do by the federal government. And they're being mandated a lot of things, people in this country, by the federal government. And this is a free country, or at least it used to be. And Americans love freedom. They don't like being bossed around and told what to do by the federal government, especially about something like this. You know, and this purge is an attempted purge of MAGA in this country, and they're going to be very, very surprised when the dust settles on this. Now, the great governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, listen to this. The Florida Department of Health, which is under the guidance of the great Ron DeSantis, the greatest governor in the history of governors of America, not just the greatest Florida governor ever, the Florida Department of Health fined Leon County more than $3.5 million last week after it fired over a dozen workers for refusing to show proof of being vaccinated. Florida sent a letter to the Leon County administrator Wednesday notifying him that the county had been found to have violated state law 714 times and would be fined $3.57 million. And it goes on. Okay, now, a lot of you probably remember the early days of AIDS in the 80s. That was a scary time. You know, I was a kid, but I remember it, and people didn't know about AIDS. They didn't know how people got it. There were virtually no treatments for it. All you knew is people got it. Next thing you knew, they were dead after they lost a lot of weight. And it was a terrible thing. And I remember even in talk radio back then, I remember one person in particular, but there were with this position, but there were people in this country that wanted to purge people with AIDS from society. I know people were scared. There were no treatments, you know, but people were talking about segregating people that had AIDS because people were afraid they were going to get it. Steve did a radio show once where he had someone with AIDS in studio, and some of the other hosts refused to come into the building until it had been sanitized, I guess. I don't know. And I know today people look back at that era and think, oh, that's bigotry, it's hate. People were scared. People were scared. There was a lot of talk. People were afraid that they could get AIDS from a public toilet or something. And I know that sounds crazy today, but back then it didn't sound as crazy. But there was talk. I remember hearing people say that people that have AIDS should. I would hear people talk this way back then. They would say people that have AIDS should have they should have tattoos in their private areas that will glow in the dark so that there's no way someone will have sex with them because they'll know that they have AIDS. Crazy stuff, thinking back on. But it wasn't so crazy back then, but a lot of people came up and said, hey, listen, you can't segregate people based on a health status like that. That's not America. You can't do that. But they were a protected group because it was, back then, it was almost all gays, okay? Almost all gays back then. So that, you know, so that's a liberal victim group. So you can't do that. You can't segregate these gay people. That would be homophobic. I don't know if they said homophobic. I don't know if that was a term back then. But they, you know, whatever they used to describe that. And now, people that are refusing the mandate, you know, this is when Marjorie Taylor Greene said a few months ago that this is like the Holocaust. What she meant is, you know, the yellow star that Jews had to wear, and other groups had to wear different symbols, but in the early days, Jews weren't just rounded up and hauled out. There was a build up to it, and in the beginning, what the star symbolized was your kids couldn't go to school, you couldn't work, you couldn't shop at the local stores. It was a way to stop you from participating in society. And that may be one reason why Jews were and oftentimes compliant and were segregated into communities, the ghettos, because there they could work and eat and stuff, although limited, you know. But there was a segregation from public commerce because of the star. And now what we're seeing from Biden and others in the government, a very similar thing with mandates, and that scares people. And this thing with Southwest is going to spread like wildfire. Other airlines are going to follow suit. And I've even heard air traffic controllers talking about that. So there's going to come a point where Biden's going to have to stop going to Delaware and having ice cream and going to wedding parties, because he's not getting involved in trying to take care of any of these problems. He's just letting it happen. And we are approaching multiple crises with all of these different things we're talking about, whether it's the purge of the military, people being forced out of their jobs, all these things, the supply chain. There are so many areas in our life where we're in the early stages of a major crisis that has not hit yet. And it's going to hit all of them like a ton of bricks and dominoes all at once. And it's not going to be fun. But we'll be here talking about it, but it's not going to be fun. All right, listen, we're going to take our first break of the last hour. My name's Brian Craig. You're listening to The Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. On the radio since 1977. Our number is toll-free from anywhere, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. We'll be back right after this.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate, where they have all the major brands like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beaten. Steve Kane's tires for his Toyota van at the other shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. That's a $100 savings per tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the shops around town. The price at Friendly Tire, only $65. That's a $70 savings per tire. These prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection of good used tires too, starting at just $30 for most cars. Call my good buddy Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire. Tell him what you drive and he will give you a great low price right over the phone at 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net.
It's here, the hot weather. It's in the mid-90s in the middle of the day, and that's what the actual temperature is. The heat index, much higher than that. That means your air conditioner is going to work harder and harder, driving up your electric bill. And on the line, we have Scott from Cut My Kilowatts, who's going to save you big, big money on your electric bill. Tell them how you're going to do it, Scott.
Hey, Brian. Well, we do it with the radiant barrier installation and making sure that none of your air conditioning ducts are leaking into your attic. But I have Rebecca on the line with me, who's a longtime Steve Kane listener, and we had the pleasure of going up and doing a whole attic package for her at her house on Wednesday of this week. And we put all new ducts in for her, radiant barrier, and all new insulation. And she just wants to tell you how her experience was.
Good morning. I wanted to let you know that this morning, first of all, the people that came out, his crew, were very, very polite, and they did the work. It's a very difficult job to go up in an attic, pull out all the old ducts, come in and put in all new ducts, extra additional ducts to make my system work better. I'm in the construction industry. I'm an architect, so I'm familiar with what the cost should be and how much time it takes to do everything. And let me tell you, I was very impressed, and my attic looks like a spaceship up there with all new ducts. They took out the metal duct that was insulated and leaking on my ceiling, and they put in flex stuff, which is what we use now in the industry. But let me tell you, what I paid for the entire package should have cost just to remove the old ductwork and install new ductwork, and I got everything for less than what I thought it was.
Well, that's amazing. And when Scott from Cut My Kilowatts brings that radiant barrier into your attic, it pays for itself, because what it does, it cools off your ceiling, cools off your attic, keeps that hot Florida heat that's well over 100 degrees in your attic off of your air conditioning ducts, which means your air conditioner works less to keep your house cool and comfortable for you, which means you have lower electrical bills. It works. Listen, guys, give Scott at Cut My Kilowatts a call. His number's listed at SteveKaneShow.com, as is his website if you miss it. His number, which rings directly to him, 954-939-1500. 954-939-1500. That's Scott from Cut My Kilowatts.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWN.
Hey guys, we're back 24 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. On the air since 1977. Dean Cain, remember he played Superman on the TV a long time ago? He's a good guy, good conservative guy. You see him on Fox all the time. And he played Superman for quite a few years. It was Lois and Clark. And he was talking yesterday about this new gay Superman. And I was telling you guys, it's not Superman that's gay. It's Superman's son, Jonathan Kent, has become Superman. And he's the son of Clark Kent and Lois Lane. And he's the bi guy, the gay Superman. And Dean Cain said something pretty sharp. He said this isn't woke. He says if it was woke, they would have Superman fly off to Iran and save gays in Iran who are being persecuted by the regime over there. But they won't do that because they don't want to criticize Iran, right? Pretty sharp guy, Dean Cain. He's pretty good. You guys should follow him on Twitter. I follow him on Twitter. All right, now Joe Biden. This story here. Joe Biden. Here's the headline. Joe Biden could become embroiled in the FBI's probe into Hunter's finances. Emails revealed that Joe and Hunter shared bank accounts, paid each other's bills, and Biden may have even funded his son's 2018 drug and prostitution binge. Oh, that's interesting. That was a binge? I thought it was a lifestyle. Did Hunter stop doing drugs and sleeping with prostitutes? Emails from Hunter Biden's abandoned laptop, obtained by the Daily Mail, reveal that Joe and Hunter shared bank accounts and paid each other's bills. Biden may have funded his son's drug and prostitution bin, they say. And it goes on. Okay. See, this commingling of funds, that wasn't an oversight. That wasn't a mistake. That's how Joe gets paid. You know, these people in Washington, like, remember Jesse Waters did this story Saturday night on Fox News during the Trump rally. I saw it on YouTube. You guys should look it up. And it was a fascinating investigative report Jesse Waters did on Nancy Pelosi's insider dealings in the Congress. And she has her husband do everything. Her husband is a businessman, and he brokers all these deals that have made her net worth grow to over $300 million. And she's made almost every penny she has while in the Congress. And the way that these corrupt government officials work, the law forbids them from taking the money and doing these jobs, so they have their family members do it. And Hunter was the mule for Joe, and the shared bank accounts was Joe's way of getting the money from Hunter as part of a money laundering scheme. But you know, the thing about this story made a lot of news yesterday, and no one really talked about it. They just throw it out there and show the pictures on the laptop, and you know, eye candy, I guess, because he's with a hooker with a leash around her, and a very strange person, Hunter. Hunter's really tragic. He's a tragic figure who just wants the love of Pops, because Pops cares about, you know, Bo. He's always talking about Bo. You never hear him talk about Hunter. When have you heard him talk about Hunter? He's always talking about, but you ask him about Hunter, he starts talking about Bo. But, you know, the reason this came out is what no one's talking about. The reason this came out is because Biden destroying the deep state's operation in Afghanistan. He went against the deep state. And this laptop, which was forbidden territory, remember that? New York Post had it and all that, you know, they couldn't let it, oh no. Now all of a sudden the contents of it are not only completely public, they're discussing FBI investigations following the revelations of the laptop content being found about Joe Biden. This is because he went against the deep state. And all these things we talk about that Biden's screwing up, the one that's going to do him in the most is going against the deep state in Afghanistan. That's the way of it. And this story here with the laptop investigation. The investigation, he's not going to be prosecuted, Joe Biden. He's not going to go to jail. None of those things are going to happen, okay? But what this is, it's their way of getting Biden under control. And what they're doing is he's out of control because he pulled out of Afghanistan. So the FBI investigation is about holding over his head a little bit of blackmail material. An investigation over him that can become more and more public if they choose, and an investigation of Hunter that could result in some penalties. So they're using this laptop now, which is real, like they tried to do with the fake manufactured dossier against Trump. Remember Comey went to Trump when he was president-elect with the fake dossier to try to get him to play ball? They're using this laptop intel to get Biden to stop going rogue and doing things like he did in Afghanistan. I tell you, you know, a free country is really an illusion, isn't it? It seems that way. Now, our Marine Lieutenant Colonel Stuart Scheller, they say he's going to plead guilty. And his attorney is saying that he should receive a letter of reprimand as punishment. Do you think they're going to let Scheller, by the way, he's the Marine Lieutenant Colonel. It seems like, what are these Marine Lieutenant Colonels always causing trouble? Vindman, Scheller, Oliver North, all Lieutenant Colonels. Scheller's the Marine Lieutenant Colonel that made the video criticizing the military leadership for the failure in Afghanistan during the withdrawal. Do you think they're going to let that guy off with a letter of reprimand? Are you kidding me? They're going to throw the book at this guy. See, this mandate I was talking about, this purge of MAGA. They're trying to purge MAGA from the military. They believe that Lieutenant Colonel Scheller is loyal to Trump. Maybe he does like Trump, but they believe he's loyal to Trump and part of an insurrection inside the ranks. They're not going to let this guy go with a letter of reprimand. I'd be shocked. It says here in the Daily Mail, Lieutenant Colonel Stuart Scheller is expected to plead guilty on multiple charges Thursday after criticizing the withdrawal of U.S. troops from Afghanistan. He chose to plead guilty to the charges of contempt towards officials, willfully disobeying a superior commissioned officer, failure to obey lawful general orders, and conduct unbecoming an officer and a gentleman. His lawyer said he's working on an agreement to obtain an honorable discharge for him. You think they're going to give him an honorable discharge? No way. He spent a week in solitary confinement in the brig. He'll appear in court Thursday at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. They say the trial comes after Scheller condemned the effort. So is this going to be a trial or just a quick thing? Well, I think they got more on this guy, because if you remember, it was about a week ago he came out and trashed Trump and Don Jr. by name. Remember that, Scheller? So this agreement, what's being reported about this agreement is not the whole deal and not the whole agreement. They went to him, they scared him, they got him to trash Trump, they got him to trash John Jr. and distance himself from them. What I didn't hear, though, is did he accept the $2 million or did he return it that had been crowdfunded for his defense? I don't know. But I'd be pretty shocked. And if they let him off with a letter of reprimand and give him an honorable discharge, they've got some plans for him. We haven't heard the last of him, if that's the way it goes. The deal would be, they got something out of the guy. All right, listen, we're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour, 32 minutes after. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. We'll be back right after this. Do not go anywhere. Be right back, guys.
Right here. I've been telling you for years how great MyPillow products are, but don't just take my word for it. This is one of our listeners, Todd. He bought the MyPillow mattress topper, and he called us live on the radio to tell us about his experience with the MyPillow mattress topper.
Yeah, I'm calling to get testimonial about my pillow topper.
You ordered the MyPillow, the mattress topper?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Well, I was thinking about buying a new mattress. My old mattress was getting old, so my wife's like, why don't you try that pillow, that mattress top? I went on, I used your promo code Kane. I got a great price. Got it home, and I've been using it for the last 3 nights. It's fantastic.
Oh, that's awesome.
It feels like a whole new mattress.
I've talked to other listeners with the MyPillow mattress topper, and they come in all sizes. The mattress companies have turned into con artists. When I was a kid, mattresses were two-sided. You'd have the mattress, then after a while you'd flip it over. Now you can't flip mattresses anymore. They don't make them that way anymore because people weren't buying mattresses enough. So the mattress company stopped making two-sided mattresses, and mattresses are expensive. I've had to buy a new mattress, and mattresses can cost well over, just for a regular normal mattress, over $1,000. So that MyPillow mattress topper is a big savings. It saved you from buying a new mattress and turned your whole bed into a MyPillow.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I really love it. I sleep really good.
Well, that's great. Well, I appreciate that. You guys out there, remember, promo code Kane, K-A-N-E. Now, when you use the promo code Kane, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com, save 30% off your MyPillow mattress topper and receive 2 free MyPillows. But you've got to use the promo code Kane, K-A-N-E. 30% off the MyPillow mattress topper. Turn your old mattress into a big MyPillow mattress. Promo code Kane, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com.
Seniors, Medicare open enrollment is quickly approaching. Make sure you get the right coverage. Call Debbie at I Will Advisors, 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080. The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to The Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Search for www.
All right, welcome back, everyone. 35 minutes after the hour. You know, I got some calls on our voicemail yesterday. I just pulled these up. Now, whenever we are not on the air here on the Steve Kane Show, we have our voicemail on. And people do leave messages. Sometimes they want the number of a sponsor. I call people back. Sometimes, you know, they're trying to contact us for business. And sometimes they're listening in the middle of the night and they're drunk off their tail and are drunk dialing. And I got 3 calls here I want to play for you. The first one is at 2:59 a.m. 2:59 a.m. That's the first call. Because, you know, we're on the air, not just live in the morning from 6 till 9, but an overnight rebroadcast, midnight till 6 a.m. So the first call is at 2:59 a.m. And the second call is right on the dot, 3 a.m., 1 minute later. And then the third call is 3:24 a.m. So I guess they passed out for 24 minutes and picked up and called again. Let me play these. Yeah. See if you can guess who this is. See if you can guess who it is. Here's the first one. This is the 2:59 a.m. call.
This is the guy with deep voice with another snappy one-liner. It's 65 degrees at 3 a.m. in the morning, and it will reach a high today of 75 degrees in the Great Beltway, Washington, D.C. Stay tuned for more exciting action from the longest-running radio show in South Florida, the Steve Kane Show.
Okay, play Melancholy Baby for me. Okay, that was 2:59 a.m. Do you recognize the voice? I recognize the voice. Do you guys recognize the voice? Okay, so that was 2:59 a.m. Here we go. 1 minute later, 3 a.m. on the dot. This is all this morning. 3 a.m. What were you doing at 3 a.m.? Well, this person obviously was tanked at 3 a.m. Okay, this is the 3 a.m. call.
Breaking news at Trump Bennington Golf Course. Donald Trump has taken a dump.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, that's the 3 a.m. phone call. Recognize the voice yet? Any guesses? So now, in this last one, this is the 3:24 a.m. call. Oh my goodness. This is my voicemail. I have not even gone through my whole voicemail. I know. These are grown men. Okay, so here, let's get this. So the first one was 2:59 a.m. The last call, that was 3 a.m. on the dot. The next one's 3:24 a.m. See, now, the what happens with these, with our the way our voicemail works, just to let you guys know, the voicemail, when you leave a voicemail message, it immediately is turned into an MP3 audio file automatically and emailed to me. So I get them on my phone to listen to them, and my phone was going off at this particular time. So here's the this is nuts. Okay, here's the 3:24 a.m. call.
These are the voices of a 90-year-old man whose one-day mission is to let Jeff Bezos shoot him up into the sky. It's one-year mission. It's one-day mission. With no 90-man-year-old gone before.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you hear him laughing at himself at the end there? That's the 3:24 a.m. call. Oh, my goodness. They need to raise the drinking age in Florida to like 78 years old, okay? Oh, man. Good morning.
Yeah, that's Al the John.
Yeah, Al the John. Yeah. Hey, Mike. Yeah, he sounds tanked, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's watching, what's he watching, like Paramount Television and watching all the reruns of Star Trek?
Well, William Shatner's going up in space this morning, so, you know.
Yeah. All All right.
All right, take care, Mike. That's what I got. That's my voicemail. You know, I play... You know, listen, if you got something to say, feel free to leave us a voicemail. If it's good, I will play it on the radio. Not that those were good, but I'll tell you this. I almost didn't play those calls because I really feel, if you haven't figured it out yet, it's Liberal Al the John. He was right. Mike was correct. Liberal Al the John. And I almost didn't play them, but then I said, what the hell. And the reason I didn't play them is I felt bad for the guy. I feel bad for the guy. I'm not as into ridiculing people as you might. Some people think I enjoy ridiculing people, and sometimes I do. I had fun yesterday with Greg, too, with the bidet Greg thing. That was fun. But this is sad. He got a grown man, no wife, no kids, no job. He's sitting alone somewhere, drunk off his tail, at 2:59 a.m., at the age of, I don't know how, I've met him, he's an older guy, at 2:59 a.m., 3 a.m., and 3:24 a.m., drunk dialing people. That's a sad life. That's a really sad man right there. So maybe I should go easier on Liberal Al the John. Good morning. Good morning. Once... See, this is probably Al. This is probably Al. He's still tanked, so he's trying to do some damage control. But listen, the reason I played those things though wasn't to ridicule John, although it may have sound or Al the John. He is a John. His name's not John. He is a John. The reason I played that though is I've tried to bring this back a few times. And we haven't been able to really bring it back yet. We used to do a segment once a week on the show where Steve and I would play our voicemail messages. So if you call our number, 1-888-GO-CANE1, 888-465-2631, when we are not on the air, anytime we're not on the air, 7 days a week, and you leave us a voice message, we may play it on the radio if you've got something to say. Good morning.
Me.
Yeah, here he is. Sobered up.
I did that sober. I wasn't drunk.
Al, now don't lie to us. You're drunk dialing me at 2:59 in the morning. Now you're trying to tell us you're sober at that? Come on.
Yeah, sleep deprived maybe, but not drunk.
Oh, please. What were you thinking when you picked up the phone at 2:59 in the morning and started calling me with President Trump? Like this one here. Let me play this one. This is the 3 a.m. call.
Breaking news at Trump Bennington Golf Course. Donald Trump has taken a dump.
You really want us to believe? You expect us to believe you're not drunk there?
No, I'm not drunk there. No.
Mm-hmm.
I just woke up, watched a little Star Trek, and feeling excited that when.
Are you at all embarrassed?
No, I was just having a little fun.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, Donald Trump is going to be going to jail soon.
Oh.
Help you psychologically prepare.
So you were drunk last night and now you're high, obviously.
You know, on any given weekend, Steve has drank more than my half.
Steve doesn't drink. Steve's completely dry. He doesn't drink.
At one time he did. I mean, you would take any weekend.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what. Steve wasn't leaving men, drunk dialing men at 2:59 in the morning, leaving drunken messages. I promise you that.
I was calling your radio show to entertain the audience. That's all I was doing.
Yeah. Do you really? Do you remember that? All right, enough. Take care. All right, listen, we'll take our last break of the day. Come back with the Gold Report. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Tom Laporta, the owner of Laporta Contracting, Roofing, and Restoration. We have been in the roofing and construction industry since 1982. We are state of Florida certified roofing and general contractors focusing on residential and commercial roofing, impact windows, and building restoration. The 2021 hurricane season is upon us. If you have noticed any water stains on your ceiling, or if your roof is older than 15 years, you will want to call us to come out and evaluate your roof. Our services run from minor repairs to complete new roof systems. We install every kind of roof, from regular asphalt shingles, clay or concrete tiles, standing metal seam, wood shakes, and slate tile systems. Call us at 954-604-4602 for a free home inspection and estimate. Again, that number is 954-604-4602.
Dr. Matez here from the Biostation West Delray. Many of you are familiar with the famous erection injection, an extremely effective treatment for erectile dysfunction made popular right here on the Steve Kane Show. I'm here to tell you that the erection injection is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the extensive array of treatment options now available at the Biostation West Delray.
Steve Kane Show.
Our custom compounded products yield combinations and dosages that increase the efficacy
I can't hear you.
of Viagra and Cialis greatly. We also
Oh, hey. Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
correct the problem at its source, such as PRP and sound wave pulse therapies that restore your natural function. State-of-the-art testing and the most current treatment options all available in one place, the Biostation West Delray. If you want to correct your erectile problems once and for all, call us at 561-320-8893. That's 561-320-8893.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
All right. Welcome back, everyone. 47 minutes after the hour, it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated in Boca Raton with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, good morning. Good. How the metals looking?
Good. Actually, we were up pretty nicely earlier this morning. Then the CPI numbers come out, and I guess they felt, even though there's inflation, that they're more concerned about the Fed raising interest rates. So we'll see how that all plays out. Historically, that still plays out very bullish for gold. So we'll see how that. But in the meantime, gold closed up $6.20 yesterday at $1,760, trading in a range from $1,750 to $1,770. Silver was down 3 cents yesterday, $22.53. Platinum closed unchanged at $1,001, and palladium was down $69 at $1,989 actually. Overnight, we saw gold trade in a range from $1,760 to $1,779. As I said earlier this morning, it's up pretty nicely. Right now, unchanged at $1,760 the ounce. Silver up 12 cents at $22.65. Platinum up $4 at $1,005. And palladium up $32 right now at $2,021 the ounce.
Wow. Now, of course, William Youngerman, you've been in business since 1967. Can you tell people a little bit about your background, experience, and qualifications in the precious metals business?
Well, yeah, we've been, as you said, we've been in business since 1967, and are members of all of the leading organizations, the Professional Numismatists Guild, the Applied Precious Metals Dealers organization, and pretty much all of the top organizations. We've been doing appraisals for banks, attorneys, states for many years, as well as making a good two-way market in anything and everything that we sell. So it's not just a one-way street with us. If we sell it, we're willing to buy it back also.
Wow. Now that's good to know. So, and of course, all the metals are available for immediate delivery, which means you walk in, you walk out with them. Listen, William Youngerman is open weekdays at 10. They're located right here in Boca Raton at 150 East Palmetto Park Road on the first floor of the Bank of America building, immediately east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto. You can give them a call, 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010, and online, WilliamYoungerman.com. All right, William Youngerman, we will talk tomorrow. All right, take care, take care. Now, a few years ago, we started doing our Steve Kane cruises, and our next cruise is coming up January 21st, and, you know, you hear what I got to deal with around here, right, with the voicemails from Al and everything. these cruises, the reason they started, and this is not a joke at all. I am as serious as a heart attack. Our cruises started so that I could get a vacation. And when we took our first cruise, it was a long weekend cruise. We had never done one before. We weren't sure how it was going to work, and we did it. It was like a 4-day thing on Norwegian. And then our other cruises have all been a week long. Our one in January is 9 days. We leave on a Friday, return on the following Sunday. And when we took our first week-long cruise, it was the first time I had been on a week vacation and had a week off work. Well, I shouldn't say vacation. It was the first time I had a week off work since my daughter came home from the hospital when she was born. That's right, and she was 20 years old then, and that's how these cruises came to be, and I'm not kidding. And if you listen to the show, I don't take very many days off, do I? But I get that week off with the cruise, and we missed our cruise last year because of the pandemic. Well, today's a big day because we are 100 days away from our next Steve Kane cruise, which is on the Celebrity Equinox, which has been totally remodeled and refitted. 9 days, and I asked Ian from Cruise and Travel Depot to call in so we could talk about it for a minute or two. Because we had some big announcement last week. We have 4 stops. We're going to Bonaire and Curacao. We're going to Aruba, and the Cayman Islands has been switched out with Jamaica. We're going to Jamaica, and we're planning a trip to that famous waterfall, Ian, the Dunn Falls. I know you're working on that for our group. This is going to be our biggest and best cruise ever.
Today we're 100 days to sailing.
Oh man, I can't wait.
I can't wait either. These short excursions are going to be great.
Last year our cruise got canceled because of the pandemic, and I'd bought all new clothes, and they're still hanging up in the wrappers in the closet. So they'll be new to me, but they'll be a year old. But I'm going to bring them on the trip, and we're 100 days out. So if you have not made a reservation to join us, call Ian from Cruise and Travel Depot and do just that. Join us. His number is 561-244-5779. 561-244-5779, and I'm looking forward to this one a lot, Ian. I mean, the last year and a half's been rough, and I think everyone needs a vacation.
Spectacular vacation. It really gives you a lot of time to
Jacqueline,
truly
$20 super chat. Thank you.
Days to explore the ship, and believe it or not, Celebrity hasn't taken all of the inventory away.
Yeah.
They said they would. They still left us with a couple rooms if last minute people want to come.
Yeah, and these are MAGA cruises. Our group are MAGA people, and we have a lot of activities that Ian and I are working on board the ship on our sea days. We're playing in Jamaica. We're going to go to the famous waterfall that's in all the movies and TV shows in Jamaica. We're also going to plan other events at other locations that we dock at. But we have dinner together every night, and if you have not joined us on one of our Steve Kane cruises, you're going to love this one. Because they're going to have, about 1,000 people on board the ship?
Once in a lifetime. And 2,800 people on a ship that size is not a lot compared to other cruise lines.
Yeah.
But 1,000, and the feedback I'm getting from people who've sailed on that ship has just been incredible. The personalized service, there's no...
it really is. Now listen, let me give Ian's number one more time. 561-244-5779. Join us. You'll love it. All right. Hey, Ian, have a great day. We'll talk soon. All right. Take care. I'm really looking forward to it. Now, there was a story that this is a really interesting story to me. 4.3 million people have quit their jobs. 4.3 people have quit their jobs. And I'm seeing this all over the place. I went someplace yesterday and the drive-thru was closed. I had to go inside and the drive-thru was closed because they don't have enough people. And the article said a lot of it is from the restaurant business and the bar business. And they're blaming COVID that people don't want to expose themselves. I don't think so. I think a lot of places don't have as much business that serve food, and they're not getting tips, so they've had to find other types of work. But this is a lot of times you hear us talk about left-wing media bias, okay? Left-wing media bias. Bias isn't just a liberal slant on a story. Bias, liberal media bias also involves what stories they don't support. Or, I mean, they don't report. Not support, they don't report. And, you know, you really got to wonder, the $4.3 million who quit their jobs, how many of you can do that? Who are these people quitting their jobs, and how are they feeding themselves after they do it? You know, there's so many stories going on here with Biden that are things that we've never seen before. It's one thing if there was a story, 4.3 million people are out of work because of something. But when have you heard about a situation where 4.3 million have quit their job? A lot of it's the mandates. Okay, there are a lot of people quitting their jobs because of mandates. I get it. And that's a big thing. That's a big thing. And you know, these Southwest airline workers, I heard someone yesterday say, well, you know, those jobs are not that easy to get. Airline jobs are awesome jobs to have, and they're not that easy to get, especially pilots. There's a lot of competition among pilots if they quit their jobs. They're going to be okay. They are going to get picked up by other airlines, or Southwest is going to change their policy because they can't afford to lose the pilots. They can't promote lesser pilots to these top positions. They can't promote lesser qualified and experienced pilots. They just can't do it. It'll make things unsafe. And the Southwest Airlines sick-out is going to be the beginning of breaking the mandate requirements. And you're going to see other airlines follow suit. But I've never seen an economic story where 4.3 million have quit their jobs. And I know it was reported yesterday, but it was reported just as a matter-of-fact thing. That's not people quitting their jobs. That's a protest. That's a protest against the mandates from the government. Now listen, we're all out of time for today. Everyone who tuned in, thanks so much. Steve Kane will be back with us tomorrow. My name is Brian. We are live weekdays from 6 until 9 a.m. Monday through Friday with overnight rebroadcast midnight till 6 a.m. 7 nights a week. And like I said, when we're not on the air, our voicemail is on, and you can leave us messages. And if they're interesting or entertaining, like those drunk calls I played earlier, we may play them on the radio. Take care, everyone. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you next time.
My name is Tom Laporta, the owner of Laporta Contracting.
Everyone, thank Jacqueline for the super chat. Thank you.
Been in the roofing and construction industry since 1980.
Make America great again, no doubt. No doubt. See, the reason I'm wearing I'm wearing like a grown-up shirt today, Steve and I have a meeting today. I have a business meeting this morning with Steve somewhere with a new sponsor. So I thought I'd wear a grown-up shirt instead of a T-shirt to the meeting. If I had like a button-up shirt that had like "Make America Great Again" on the pocket, wouldn't that be cool? I could use some of those. But yeah, that's why I'm wearing a grown-up shirt. Sometimes.
Call us at 954-604-4602 for a free home inspection and estimate. Again, that number is 954-604-4602.
Hi folks, Dr. Matez here, now with the Biostation West Delray.
Have you seen like button-up shirts that have like "Make America Great Again" on them? I've not. I was looking for like a MAGA Hawaiian shirt, that I could wear on the cruise.
Sexual dysfunction in women, physical and sexual rejuvenation, and quite frankly, any sign or symptom of aging that you may have. And don't forget, we offer the complete array of all cosmetic modalities, including Botox, fillers, lasers, etc. Better energy, better sleep, better performance, and looks to die for. If this all sounds good to you, call us at 561-320-88.
I don't like polos. I like T-shirts. I really don't like to wear button-up shirts at all. I like T-shirts, but sometimes you gotta dress up.
96.9 South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN.
Yeah, like on the pocket, MAGA. That'd be awesome. I'd wear that, MAGA. Yeah. Hey guys, I gotta run though because I gotta meet Steve for this. That's why Steve's not here. He's on his way to the meeting, so I gotta meet him there. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. Everybody else like the video. And I did do a live stream on the way in to the radio station this morning. I know some of you were there. If you missed that, go check that out, okay? I'll see you soon, guys. And thanks, Jacqueline, for the super chat. Take care, everyone.